more, dropping bombs on your nipples. Mic drop, then alarms, now they press snooze. Mainstream spinning, but I won't play that game. A nuclear flow, turning at you for motivational flame. Megan Fox crushing all the talking heads as they spoon feed their paid piggies. Gotta keep them misled with blazing Lego vision. I see all the signs exposed in the agenda. Miss these epic rhymes. Intellectual assault on the mainstream, not in the current of the mainstream. Real smart will never be silenced. They won't let fit fighting appliance. Pretend intellectual assault on the mainstream, never ride in the current of the lame stream. Bro, I can burn water, but I'm spitting facts. Top shelf, sorting mass facts, reporting news, and not like you make it. I'm award-winning, and I don't have to fake it. Megan Fox, an authentic voice, giving the masses a hard-hitting choice. That umbrella guy, hammering his song, while Megan Fox rights those wrongs. Now we hit the end of this tune, declaring what it isn't even new. Making dinner and still chopping rhymes like granite. In my area code, please, you're not even on my plan. Yeah, you're outclassed and you never knew. By the time I press singulars are through, breaking stories while you're chasing hunches. I'm a news titan, never pulling punches.
Well, welcome back to the show. We have a hard-hitting show for you tonight. It's Tuesdays with Tug. How are you, that umbrella guy?
I'm doing great, man. I'm really looking forward to Pantsing Dave Neal. What's up?
I'm pretty depressed about it, to tell you the truth. I mean, here I thought Dave was a great guy, you know, and I've got some information that's just going to yank those short shorts down around his ankles. And I got to do it because I am a journalist and I am for the truth. And when I find that somebody has not been honest with me about something they've done, I got to expose it. And we are exposing Dave Neal tonight on this program. Dave's in the chat, by the way. Dave, just bend over and take it, buddy. He wants to know, what did I do now? Motion to be exposed. Oh, we're going to expose you.
Whoa, what did I do now? Exactly.
we have information that Dave Neal, some podcaster, and, you know, calls himself a comedian or whatever. Dave Neal has been doing this journalism thing for a lot longer than we knew. Did you know about that? We thought he was like a comedian and entertainer. Tug.
I had no idea, actually.
Yeah. Well, Dave Neal says bending and taking it is ongoing. Laura Owens should be really interested in this, because after tonight, the mainstream press is never going to speak positively about Dave Neal ever again.
Wait, did they speak positively before? Did I miss that?
I don't know. Well, let's just say any shred of credibility that he had going into tonight is going to be gone. There will be no more shreds. The shreds of credibility will all be washed away when you hear this expose. 1 year ago, once upon a time, a year ago, Dave Neal was interviewed by Ireland AM, which is it's like a morning show. He's been on mainstream press, and they attempted to take him down. And you know what it was about, Tug?
What's that?
Johnny freaking Depp.
Of course it was.
Everybody has said that Dave and I seem like we're related. I am about to expose that Dave is your little brother, separated at birth. He got set up by the Irish media, of all things. The Irish media set him up to take a fall on their national morning program because he had unwieldy thoughts, shall we say. about Johnny Depp winning his defamation case. Now, by the way, what you're about to see, please, do not be alarmed. Dave looks very different. He looks much younger. I think that the last year, and perhaps Laura Owens and the battle he's been waging with her may have taken a toll on Dave a little bit, because when I saw him, I was like, holy shit, Dave. Was this 10 years ago? Sorry, Dave, but we're exposing that you've been stressed out for a while here, too. Dave tried to say that it was the lighting. He says he's not wearing makeup, which I believe. I just think it's youth. Dave, I think you hit the wall. I think you hit the wall this year. No, I'm kidding. It's a joke. All right. We got to listen to Tug. Watch Dave's face, because he was not expecting this. It's so clear that he was not expecting what was about to happen. He gets an invitation, right? They're like, hey, Dave Neal, we're Ireland AM, and we would love to get an American take from a YouTuber about the Johnny Depp win. You've been covering it, so please come on our program right before we call you garbage. This is what we call sandbagging by the not tea. That's not to be confused with teabagging, by the way, which is what Dave does to this chump here.
That comes afterwards. Yeah.
Comes after the sandbagging. All right, let's just see it. Let's just watch this.
YouTuber and stand-up comedian Dave Neal, who's been covering the case over the last 6 weeks. Dave, thank you so much.
Look at him. Look at the youth and beauty. Look at it. He's glowing. He's glowing. Look at him. He's all bright-eyed and positive. Look at him.
I hear he wore pants back then too.
Look at him. He's so youthful looking. And he has no idea. This poor man has no idea what's about to hit him. Ashley says he was high at the time. It's true. He did say that he took a gummy before this. His eyes do a little red. He was like, this is going to be a walk in the park, man. Here we go. Look at him. He's so positive. Watch, guys, pay attention to it watch his face fall.
For joining us this morning. I just want to, there's a quote here from a Stanford law professor who says, allowing this trial to be televised is the single worst decision I can think of in the context of intimate partner violence and sexual violence in recent history. And there are so many.
He had a little bit of a giggle there for a minute, like, wait, what? What are they asking me about? Sexual violence? What?
Text of intimate partner violence and sexual violence in recent history. And there are so many law schools around the US saying this as well, that people aren't going to come forward. So what do you think the role of social media played in this case, Dave?
Oh, well, thanks for having me. I think that we need to see this play out, and we needed to see the court system do its job. I don't think any victims should worry that they won't be believed. I think everybody believed Amber Heard for several years. And then after several years of believing her, the truth came out and there wasn't enough evidence to support any of her claims, and she lost.
But that's rubbish, Dave. To be honest with you, do we really need to know exactly what the ins and outs of it? I mean, it's a nasty divorce between two people.
Dave's face! That's rubbish, Dave.
They really tried to ambush him here, man.
Wasn't that a good answer, though? He was like, everybody did believe her. They did.
And they very much did. Oh, they very much did.
Everybody believed her. I mean, I can't say that I believed her because I don't pay attention to entertainment news. I think I missed the entire thing when it happened. Like, oh, they're divorcing and here's why. I just was so not focused in on entertainment news that I had no clue what was going on. When I discovered it was when the tapes came out. That's when I started looking into it. But I wasn't paying attention at that time. But I do know that people did believe her. No one was like, oh, she's a liar. Like, people believed her.
No, you could go back and actually search Twitter if you really want to feel for it. And it was, you had massive support for her. Massive. And it was just like you always do. It always happens like this.
I love this. That's rubbish, Dave. But really? First of all, you're in Ireland, okay? Can you just calm down about the American court system you know nothing about, sir? With your too tight polo shirt. Like, what can buy a size up, okay? I don't know who this guy is, but he's annoying me
He's
already.
shopping it. I didn't know they had an Irish version of the Baby Gap, but that's awesome.
Maybe he actually bought it at the Baby Gap. It's
That's
too
right.
small. Oh God. Calm down, Shamrock, says Sarah.
Shamrock. Shit.
Calm down, Shamrock. No shit. All right, here we go.
Who unfortunately have broken up and have gone through a really difficult time, and to have it played out across social media. You know, it was only for the benefit of people like yourself setting up YouTubes or people, you know, wanting to
Like, are we
watch
worried
on.
Dave, you did such a good job keeping your face neutral. Look at this. It was only for the benefit of people like yourself setting up YouTube. Oh,
Yeah, I'm sure the courts were like, hey, I wonder what those YouTubers would like out of this.
right. Squid says him being able to keep his face neutral. That's the THC.
But are we worried about the jury? They obviously saw things. They weren't sequestered.
Wait, so I think that this woman in the pink, she tries to she realizes how offensive that was, what he just said, and she's going to try and walk it back a little bit.
They're
Listen.
talking about this woman named Michelle Dauber. That's who they're talking about for Stanford. And what's fascinating is she quit Twitter because the man hating that we talked about, yeah, she kind of got the university kind of got in trouble, and she was right there at the forefront. So she dropped out because she was afraid that her ass was going to get canned. So, fascinating, huh?
Fascinating. Debbie Jo says he looks so pure and innocent. I know he hasn't seen the way to the world yet.
I know how, the before and afters are quite crazy. I mean, I saw this one of Dave. Like, check this one out. I found this one the other day. Like, look at this. I mean, before and after. Here's him like hanging out.
Okay, wait, hold on.
That's him at a barbecue. Look at him. He's like, oh yeah, it's so bad.
See, I think that we may have found Dave's villain origin story.
Is that it?
I think we have found Dave Neal's origin story.
Oh.
This is when, look at, he's all bright-eyed and bushy-tailed. and then this all this shit happens. He gets attacked by the mainstream Irish press. Suing Jane Doe for aging me, he says. he gets ambushed by the Irish press just for having an opinion about the same opinion that everyone in America holds about Johnny Depp and Amber Heard. Anybody who watched the trial anyway. Oh God. It's so funny. All right. I promise to let this play.
You can tell
I mean, it's a nasty divorce between two people who unfortunately have broken up and have gone through a really difficult time, and to have it played out across social media. You know, it was only for the benefit of people like yourself setting up YouTubes or people, wanting to watch on.
Are we worried about the jury? They obviously saw things. They weren't sequestered. Like, are we worried about the effect that social media had on the jury, Dave?
Perfect example of someone who doesn't know how the American court system works. You do not have to sequester jurors in order for them not to look at their phones and social media. Like, literally hardly any juries, especially in civil cases, are ever sequestered. That's for like very high profile murder cases, not for civil cases.
See the Dave now, I expect him to be like, are you from the IRA? Because you're bombing this interview or some shit, these days.
Well, wait, I actually have the reaction he wanted to have. I have that on tape, and we're going to play that after this. We've got Dave unplugged, but this is his plugged in version, which I thought that he did very well.
Well, the jury's anonymous, so I don't know who they are. But I would say if we're all going to enter the gladiator match and watch it, that's on us. But for Johnny Depp to get his truth out there, he needed to have it aired out, and he asked for it, and that's why they went ahead with it.
I mean, Amber Heard has said in her statement after that it was a setback. What's your views on?
Nobody gives a shit what Amber Heard said. That's
like,
our
"Ask
view.
this, said it. You know, what's your views? Are you going to argue with the women?" It's like, oh, what?
I also like how they don't seem to understand how suing people in America works. Like the court system doesn't just decide which cases to take or not take. Anybody can file a case, and then it has to be heard. That's called justice. You asshole.
They
Like
don't seem to understand that the courts and the cameras wasn't Johnny Depp, actually. People that's one of the biggest lies that's told again and again. If people go back to the motions, yeah, you should go back and look at it, because it'll be quite the revelation. She
and
thought
that
she was going to have
old-
some gangbuster win. So of course,
Why
but
would
now,
we care? Why would we care? Why would we care what Amber Heard had to say in the first place? Like after she loses this massive defamation case, and they're acting like we should care that we're going to believe what she says. Dave Neal says, "I just love your finding this now." Oh, Dave, I will find every piece of dirt on you that exists. I will not stop hunting and digging until I find it all. I will find every single embarrassing interview. Well, except this one wasn't very embarrassing. He kind of kicked their asses all over the place. Tomorrow's Dave's birthday, by the way. Did you know that?
I didn't. No.
And his baby is due tomorrow on his birthday. Isn't that something?
That's actually that would be quite the household time, you know. You'll never get a birthday present again.
Oh my gosh, that's so true. Poor Dave. If the baby is born on his birthday, you're done. It's over.
Yep.
It's over. All right. Let's let Dave answer this next question. What was the question again? What did he just ask? Something about something
Amber Heard
ridiculous?
said blah blah.
Oh yeah,
blah.
blah blah, goop goop, bloop bloop.
Yep.
Poo goo.
On her statement after the ruling.
Well, you know, on my channel, we take phone calls from people, and we scour all of Twitter and hear what people have to say. And everyone that I've spoken to anecdotally says this is not a setback for survivors and victims. This is a chance for people to understand what the process is if they do have a story to tell. It's not about not believing people. It's about this specific instance where the truth, none of it added up.
Are we a little bit worried, Dave, because we're not experts, and
No shit. No shit. By the way, Dave, I got to ask you, maybe it was your skincare routine back then. I mean, yeah, your skin is literally glowing. It looks very tight, like under the eye area. Like, how do I get my face to look like that? I don't know how this is possible. It was only a year ago. It wasn't like you look like you're about 15. Is it the haircut? I don't know.
It's like The Bachelor ages a man.
understand the law. Where we live in Ireland, our law is different to what your law is in the US, and everyone became an expert. And when it comes to social media, everyone was an epidemiologist. We're all experts on COVID. We're all experts on the war in Ukraine. We're all military experts now, and everyone became an expert in US defamation law during all of this. Whereas the experts were the ones saying this is a bad idea to televise this, and now there are rumors.
Oh, so what? As if we would listen to experts saying we shouldn't televise it. Our American jurisprudence is open to the public. That is in our Constitution. You have a constitutional right to face your accuser in a public hearing. It's in the Constitution.
They weren't
ma'am.
experts, actually. So the person they're talking about is not an expert on this in any way, shape, or form. They don't know anything about
who's she talking about? She's talking about Dauber?
Yeah, that's who I'm taking it, because they started out with Dauber and all these other people. So, the ones that are sounding off, who? The media? I mean, are they fucking experts? I mean, on what? Watching celebrities eat bagels by the side of the road. I mean, who the fuck are these people?
Well, I wouldn't doubt. I wouldn't doubt, though, that they found some experts to say this kind of crap. Dave says, I didn't realize I look so much older now. I'll be rethinking my evening face oil routine. Dave, just think of this as an early birthday roast. Okay. Now, somebody just said that you turned your light up really bright. I just turned my light to the highest setting. Let's see if I look 15 again. I don't think so. And it didn't work for me. I don't think it's the lighting, Dave. I don't think it's the lighting. Oh, what did I do? I was trying to shut off my camera because my grays are showing. All right, here. I didn't mean to to unshare that. Here we go. I don't think it's the lighting, Dave. All right, let's see. Maybe it's the stash. Is it the stash? No, because mustaches usually make people look older. Not Dave says he's gonna come on and prove it's all lighting. You are welcome to. I dare you. I dare you to come on your own expose and expose your face to the light. We're gonna shine a light on you, Dave, and it's not gonna be pretty. I'm just kidding. It probably won't be.
Wait, his face isn't going to be pretty? That was pretty low, Megan.
I know, that was so low. That was so rude. I didn't mean any of it. It's okay.
And Manson might try to bring a case against his ex. Now there are rumors that Marilyn Manson might try to bring a case against his ex, Evan Rachel Wood, for statements that she has made before Congress. Could this be a rolling stone?
Well, I can't really speculate on what this would do for other cases, but Johnny Depp, rightfully felt that he was not able to tell his story and not believed, and he went out there and tried it, and he won. And I think everyone was surprised. I didn't expect him to win. I don't think most people did. It's very tough to win a defamation case. All she had to do was provide any sort of evidence, and there was a whole stack of people that came out, with evidence that kind of disputed what she was saying. I think people wanted her to win for several years. The ACLU teamed up with her to release her story 3 days before Aquaman. I mean, you really get to see the sinister side of how Hollywood works, and it's all about box office sales and things like that. You just get to see that all play out. And now Hollywood's not going to hire her because they're going to decide that she's not worth their bottom dollar. So that's what all it comes down to.
Do you believe that her Hollywood career is over now and Johnny Depp's is resurrected then?
He can get any movie financed he wants. He can do art house films and small budget things. Will he work for a major corporation at Disney? That's yet to be seen. But I think his career is perfectly fine. And Amber, I mean, she didn't have the decades worth of work to back up her being hired over any other actor. There's tens of thousands of them out here with us. So I think she'll have a harder time recovering.
Yeah, YouTuber Dave Neal, thank you so much for joining us this morning. And I think you're definitely right in relation to Amber. She doesn't have the... She wasn't a big movie star.
I didn't follow it at all. I just find how one...
Tug, did you hear that?
I did indeed. And that's how most of them are.
I didn't follow it at all.
They don't know anything about it. They don't know anything about what happened, but they have opinions on it.
He didn't follow the trial at all. All he did was read the headlines from Taylor Lorenz and Kat Tenbarge and then believed it.
Court ruling in the UK, she won, he won. I actually don't understand this, to be honest. But whenever the announcement was made last night, it was actually sad watching her.
And he was out in the lash with Sam Fender, wasn't he, in Newcastle?
Yeah, I think when it comes to divorce, it's always going to be nasty. And to have it televised and...
To millions of people.
And of course, across... So
it wasn't the divorce happened in 2016, you dipshits.
This wasn't a televised divorce. What this guy needs, he needs this behind him. What do you mean? I didn't follow. After all that, it's rubbish, Dave. It's rubbish. Oh, speak of the devil, he will appear.
I think you guys are so wrong about how good I look with this lighting. Look at that. That's
Dave.
Man, that mustache really does change things.
It does. It's the mustache of youth.
The mustache of youth.
I think there's something about what you had, like the air of innocence about you back then that I think maybe is gone now.
Yeah, I was I used to have three lights hitting me, but now I use these lights behind me for uplighting. So I mean, I can really blast the light. I get rid of all my blackheads. I mean, you want to see young looking Dave? I'm about to look like a prepubescent.
Okay, ready?
Hold on.
You have to teach me how to do this. I need 3 lights hitting me from all angles. I wouldn't be able to see.
You got to get them to hit you here. I got this one light right here, right? So I just put this right out of my face. You can't even see. I look like my balls just rose back into my scrot. I haven't even. Yeah, here, guys. I got to hold it. 38 never felt so old.
Well, look, here. Can we get you? Well, let's see if we
Well,
can
it
get
could have
you
also
side
been
by side with you, side by side. I think you've had a little more sun damage since then. Maybe you've
Well,
been in the sun more.
in there, I was living in the Mediterranean climate. You know what I mean? There, I just had a nice tan there. Now what I've got is a more expensive lens that's showing my true age.
You've got 4K now. That's the
know.
problem.
That was Koreatown. That was Los Angeles, T-Mobile bandwidth. You just couldn't see how old I was.
All right. Well, I have Dave Neal Unfiltered with the reaction I wish you had given to him. This is the reaction I wish Dave had done. Hold on, let me make sure I have the right timestamp. Let's see. I need to get
I'm
to
prepared to leave the studio. I don't know what this is.
141. Let's see. Where are we at here? I gotta get to 141. All right, here we go. This is Dave's unfiltered reaction to the Irish media sandbagging him.
Well, I just sent it to you. It's actually really funny because at midnight, whatever the date was here, Ireland asked me to do an interview, and I was like, all right, I'll do an interview. I took my edible already. I was ready to go to bed, and then I realized they're sabotaging me on morning TV. But the funny part is everyone sided with me. And as you know,
that's awesome.
After following the case, you'll know, I just put it in the chat. You'll know that it was just so funny. I mean, if you just know who I am and know I'm just going to smile my way through it. And I was like, oh, this is not going good. But they've asked me to be back on the show since then, which is fine. But anyway, it's the idea that people have that YouTubers, I guess, aren't allowed to make money, but mainstream media
mainstream can make. All right. So, and then we got to skip ahead to, hold on, because we don't want to hear me go off. We want to hear you go off because it's hilarious. 144.25.
Yeah, I wasn't even mad about that. I was just kind of like, I had to go to bed after. I was like, I don't know if that was, my wife was like, how did it go? And I was like, ooh, I don't know. I was like, things, and I just couldn't do it. I don't hold any ill will towards them. It's just so ironic that they're covering the Johnny Depp thing, questioning why I'm covering the Johnny Depp thing. And I'm like, first of all, this is happening in my country. You're in Ireland over there, you potato fox. Like, what are you guys doing? Get out of here. Leave it be. This has nothing to do with you leprechauns.
That's what you should have said.
So that's why I've got this. So anyway, he called me rubbish, and that's why I have this sound bar.
That's rubbish, Dave.
And I was like, I don't even. So then I go to bed, and I'm like, my wife's like, well, how did it go? That pillow talk, she's sleeping. How did it go? And I was like, I don't know.
I may be canceled on the morn. Wow.
But you know what? They actually, then I blasted them, and they changed the title of the, they changed the thumbnail to include that's rubbish, Dave. So they kind of played into it. Whoever was doing the social media team played into it. But I mean, just don't sit there with your stupid newspapers and your well-lit fake, Vine set, whatever, and come at me about what I'm doing morally, you nobody. You know what I mean?
Right.
You played rugby, bro. You wouldn't last a second in the United States, you niche Galway hooker. Like, what are they, who are they? Who are they? Get out of here. This is the big leagues. By the way, a Galway hooker is a sailing term. Get your mind out of the gutter. Sailing, it's a term for all of our seamen out there. But either.
So that's really
that really cleared it up and made it sound better, Dave. Oh, it's about semen. I got you.
I guess I've been holding in some of that anger I've had, that Irish courage. My own people. Et tu, Bruto, et tu? Backstabbing Irish Mick.
That's what you should have said. That's so good. I want to package that for that guy, and I want to put it in like a fun YouTube short and send it to him on his birthday.
I'll find the initial email from them. If you guys want to see what they said to me.
I totally do. Jessica Kruger is asking you to marry her. Dave Neal, will you marry me? I think that's called bigamy. I'm not sure, but I don't think Dave can get married again. He doesn't live in Utah. Damn, Dave, bringing the heat. Dave, do you use Amica cream?
No, I'm concocting my own face oil a blend. I use castor oil. Sometimes I use a little vitamin E and then some rosehip oil. That's what gets what you see here, whether you like it or not. This is it. Not bad for 38.
Not bad at all. I will say though, a year ago you look like a different person, and I can't figure out why. Maybe it is the not HD camera or the mustache. Maybe
Well, I had
it's
yet to be
mustache.
sued for harassment at that point. So,
True that. There you
that
go.
was a year
Right.
before I was sued.
Well, personally, I do think that the stress will take a toll. It will take a toll. There's no doubt about it.
So
No
I
doubt.
I think I'm feeling perfectly good. I've been sleeping in I've never slept better since I've moved. I don't feel stressed at all, but I don't
Good.
know. Maybe I'm not drinking enough water. I don't know. You guys have got me asking all these questions now. I don't know.
We're
I mean, they
just
call me
casual.
young looking Dave, you know?
Young looking Dave. Young looking Dave. Well, at some point, Dave, you do turn a corner and then you realize, oh God, I turned a corner. I can't go back.
Well, I'm holding on for dear life. I got grays coming in, but depending on the way you part the hair, you can hide it. But I don't know. I've had people try to make. I'm like, look, I come from the Irish people gray early. What do you want from us? You know what I mean?
Boots on the Ground says Dave looks the same.
There's the support I've been looking for.
Yeah, that guy has a sight problem, but that's okay. That's all right. Dave Neal's Patreon broke my hymen, says Louise. Dave,
This
you
is
have some
true.
explaining to do.
I went and spilled some thoughts about what's to come, and boy, I'll tell you this.
Where's my button?
Yeah.
Phrasing.
There is what I believe to be damning information, and I think actually, not to tease it too hard, but we're going to be revealing some of it tomorrow morning. But it gets better and better, and it's all because Jane Doe's attorney forced us to look deep into our souls, and we found new evidence thanks to him, thanks to his motivation. If it wasn't for his blogging, I don't think we would have found it. But we've got smoking gun evidence of fraud, possible money connections, possible family member. I mean, there's so many things going on here.
I've got my own press inquiries that are hot off the press. That have
I mean,
already
it
gone
literally, it's a story
got
that
it.
goes around the world and back. We're waiting. We have a story that enters Asian country. I believe it's an Asian country, right? The country we're thinking of.
Yes.
It's an Asian country, and there's that's all, and it's all self-inflicted from Jane Doe. It's all and this is why you smoke people out of their holes, because and maybe that's a wrong term there, but I mean, what you gotta do? But it's in her own trying to manically change our opinions months ago, she released a flutter of evidence that is now really, really going to work against her. And watching it play out is truthfully, I mean, maybe it's going to bring back some of my youth I've been waiting for. I'm not sure.
Well, let's look at some of the comments on that expose on you. That Irish TV really did a hit job on you, and let's see what the comment section says. It's a win for domestic abuse survivors, says Annabelle. Heard was the abuser and was exposed to the world. Virgo 282 says it's very unprofessional of a journalist to not even try to have all the information before an interview and use words like rubbish when the guest, who has seen it all, trying to make a point on what really happened. JD lost in the UK because AH committed perjury, just a minor perjury, and that judge was biased, who also didn't have all the facts. Please, for all the journalists out there, do your research before commenting. That's a good one. Limner123 says this was not a divorce case. The divorce was settled. She made it more public than he wanted it, but part of the settlement was they agreed not to talk about it anymore. But she kept telling her disputed story, and he couldn't get her to stop. She was found in a court of law to have been knowingly lying. To dismiss this as a messy divorce is short-sighted at best. Gosh, do they have any support in these? I can't find any. The Mail reporter says SPPCC didn't follow anything after all, and he is doing the reporting. I will remember him as the rubbish Irish reporter. Man, Dave, you got some good support in the comments. I actually went through these earlier. I didn't find one that was on their side in this. Everybody saw it, just like everybody saw it here. And no one really, except bots and Michelle Dauber, actually believes Amber Heard.
It's just a case of the audience got to see the evidence and came up with that conclusion. And there you have the anchors not watching or looking at the evidence, having the opposite conclusion. It's like, are they smarter than us because they're, shined up on a TV show? It's no one wants to feel like they're being made to look stupid. And I think that I wasn't even defensive. It was too much of a surprise for me to even get defensive that the audience, but that's what I was saying. You gotta, when you go on these panel discussions, you gotta state your point for the audience, not for the hosts. So they can try to slam me all they want. It's just going to make it more funny and interesting when we look back at it a year later or 2 years later, like we're doing right now. This was 2 years ago. 2 years ago.
I personally don't think.
I know it's crazy, isn't it? 2 years, man.
It's hard to believe. I personally don't think, Dave, that you could have answered those questions any better than you did. Even if you had been prepared, I don't think you could have done any better.
Well, the TMZ dude from the case, when he snapped back at Amber's lawyer, that guy was prepared for that type of question. Do you remember what I'm talking about?
Yep.
When she was like, couldn't we say you're doing this for fame? And he's like, couldn't we say you're doing it for fame? And then your buddy in the background's
that
like,
that was TMZ guy. Yeah.
Yeah.
Morgan
that was a perfect explanation, but I don't know. This is why people love podcasting and long form content, because look, we had a 3-minute convo. It's like, I'm going to talk, then I'm going to wait for you to talk. They start reciting Stanford articles they didn't send me beforehand. Like, I don't know what the fuck I was talking. Like, what? Like, they didn't prep me on any of that.
Yeah, it wasn't an article. The way they phrased it sounded like an article, but they're talking about posts on Twitter. That's actually what they're talking about. Yeah.
Did you find the email from them when they invited you and what it said?
Yeah, it's really nothing scandalous. They found me on Twitter, and then it just says something like, "Hey, I'm the part of the research department. We'd love to have you on to talk about the case." So it was very neutral.
Yeah, but they don't tell you, "Hey, we're gonna set you up for the story we're doing about the bad YouTubers who are profiting off of an abuse story." And
it's just so funny because trust me when I say this, they had the wrong guy. I did not commit to a side. Like the juries, I said, you know what? I'm just gonna wait. I'm gonna pretend like I'm a juror. I'm gonna let both sides talk, and I'm just gonna not share my opinion. I had the Depp people upset with me, the Amber people upset with me, and then I finally came up and I was like, well, it kind of sounds like, even though I believe, I believe that she's done some defamation here, I don't think they're gonna call it that way because the odds were against Depp, and I just tried to play it neutral the whole way, and then suddenly I'm the bad guy. I'm on the list that I think Tug was on. We were put on some list of like people that were getting swatted. I got put on that list. I'm still called a Johnny Depp bro or whatever. It's just like you just gotta like, I guess, get over it,
Yeah, Tug, how are you doing on that list? You're still on the list.
Every time a place like that would contact me, I would come up with like certain rules. I'd be like, okay, well, I'm not going to be able to show my face. Is that okay? They'd be like, yeah, sure. I was like, okay, well, I want to use a talking pickle avatar. Is that okay? And they're like, no, you can't do that. I'm like, I'm sorry, I can't do this then. I wish I would have known you were taking interviews, Dave. I would have sent them your way.
I wasn't like looking for it. I was just like, all right, this will be a funny story. Everything I do is like, can I get a stand-up bit out of this? It's like, I put myself in some weird positions. I'm like, well, this might, I did when I did a show in Seattle, I did like their morning TV show, and it was fun, but it was like, the very least, if I bomb, I'll have it on camera,
I'd been like, I know this spry 12-and-a-half-year-old,
Well, the real reason for this stream this evening is to play through a video that we have not seen before of Laura Owens telling her victim story yet again 2 years ago, about the same time that Dave Neal was being blasted by Irish media. Laura Owens went on a show that was hosted by someone named Dr. Shafali, who happens to be like an Oprah Winfrey friend, maybe. It looks like I've seen pictures of her with Oprah Winfrey. And we haven't seen this yet. I don't know
Meg,
who
I'm
found
gonna
this.
get off, but I'm gonna go watch this. I got to go on my evening walk with my
Of
pregnant wife here.
course, you go and have a
like-
wonderful evening and a pre-birthday walk. And I hope you have a great day tomorrow.
Thanks
too, Dave.
early
again.
birthday,
And
man.
I'll see Megan in the morning for our live stream. We'll be revealing some wild information. But yeah, I mean, I love how this all ties together. You know, like a couple of years ago, I was getting blasted in the face by Ireland AM, and then now, you know, she gets blasted in the face by Clayton, and here we are talking about it. Right.
The similarities.
I'll see you guys later. Bye, everybody.
Bye. I love Dave.
Yeah.
I love Dave so much. Everybody please go over and subscribe. And yeah, I will be on with Dave Neal tomorrow morning at 10:30 my time, Eastern time. And we are going to go over the new stuff we discovered today. Dave and I have been texting furiously all afternoon, and we have found some things. We have found several things. And it's going to be big, you guys. It's going to be bombshell. It's just more stuff. Okay. So here is this interview. Now, Tug, I didn't send either one of these interviews to Tug because I wanted Tug's real life.
No, she was like, I ain't sending you shit. You're going to live reactions.
He's like, I want to see him. Like, nope. Nope.
That is literally how that played out.
I was like, I'll send it to you later.
Yep.
But I want your live reaction to this. All right. So we've got this Dr. What did I say her name was? Shefali. She's got 110,000. I don't know. Whatever. She's got 110,000 subscribers. She apparently has been on Oprah Winfrey before. And let's hear how she actually introduces Laura. Let's find. Oh, that was a good screenshot. That's a good one. Let's hear how she introduces her, because this should be interesting. Here we go. You ready for this, Tug?
I am. I'm ready. I'm braced.
Okay. All right. Do we have the right? I don't think I have the right avatar. I'm gonna have to switch my avatar. Let's see.
Yeah, maybe I need to switch. I switched to Pickle Tug for my
I
point I was making.
I think I need to switch to Demon Fighting Fox, because we have demons on the screen. So Demon Fighting Nun Fox is what we're going with.
I think I'm going to switch to my advocacy photo triplet.
Okay, perfect. Perfect. Right. Let's get the holy water out. And let's cleanse the space. Does anybody have like one of those smudge sticks? We got to cleanse the space for a moment. Everyone prepare yourselves. Couple of Hail Marys. All right, here we go.
You're hilarious. Okay. Can you please request me? I'm requesting you, Laura. No worries.
Oh, wait, was she having trouble getting on the stream? Oh my God, it's like a jokeless.
Never thought I'd ever
The jokeless reborn.
But intense work, a lot of pain. You come out on the other end, and then you realize that you awaken. This Malik Shah is hilarious. I think you're hilarious. Okay. Can you please request me? I'm requesting you, Laura. No worries.
I'm having flashbacks. Just click the link. Just click the link.
Oh my God, I am so sorry. I don't know why all of a sudden my computer did not work.
What's going on with her hair exactly here, Tug? Do you see what I'm seeing?
It looks like Lee Press on hair. It does. You know?
There is a tangle on our left side, not her left, but our left side. There is a tangle that will drive you nuts the rest of this interview. It does not get any better, and she never
looks like somebody
tries
has
to straighten it out.
She looks like she has male pattern baldness going on, though. I mean, like
Oh,
she
no.
has it looks like a little doll hair inside. You know how those
God,
people
it
with
kinda
bad
does.
hair inside. It does. Like, look right there in her balding spot.
That it kind of does. That's distressing for women. Let me tell you, that's distressing. That's a distressing thing to
I'm
have.
glad. Like, that's one thing I haven't had to worry about. Although I found out when my granddad died. This is a long time ago, by the way. So, but I thought, man, when I get older, I'm gonna be like my granddad. I'm not gonna lose any hair, and my hair color is gonna stay the same. So that when I went to go look after, all of his stuff, I found hair dye. I was like, son of a bitch, Well, I guess at least I'll keep the hair. At least I didn't find any Lee press on hair, but
Lee press on hair. Okay,
Yeah.
so there's also something in her hair down here on the left side. I don't know if she just came from the barn and there's like pieces of hay or oats or something in her hair, but
That's
it's
from her last boyfriend. That's the dribble.
it's so
Oh, now I'm
bad.
gonna look at it. I'm gonna see it as dribble, no matter what it is. I'm gonna think that this whole time. Damn me and my big mouth
There's
saying that.
something about Mary. It's like the something about Mary.
There's something about Laura.
I mean, it's such a strange thing though. Like I've been interviewed before. Like you usually check the mirror first, run a brush through your hair, or like straighten, get it looking neat. Not like when I turned on the camera and I have my bed head going on. But
Or
still, like if I don't care. This is my channel. But if I'm going on someone else's channel, I usually try to look presentable.
Or like tell the person, like I'm like, I can't be on there. I'm horribly disfigured. That's what I did.
Oh God, I've got my Lee press on hair today. I just can't have the camera on. Oh, it's funny.
Hi,
But here
Laura.
I am. Hey, how are you?
Good. So this is Laura.
It's literally tied up on one side. It's not even hanging down the way it's supposed to be. I can't unsee it. It's so strange. All right, I'm sorry.
Twins, and Laura and her mom invited me to their podcast called Nobody Told Me. And then I just clicked with Laura, and Laura told me a little bit about how she just came out of an abusive relationship and how somebody on a plane next to her sent her a warning. So Laura, just tell us.
That story. Oh my God.
Yeah,
Slip
that's
me
how-
the note, baby. Slip me the note.
That's how she got all these like chicken soup for the soul and all these things.
That's all I got to
Also-
do is come up with like a story about how I was on Spirit Airlines,
Flux wants to know, how did it not get better when she fixed it? She did just try to run her fingers through it, but they got stuck. And here's what's kind of sad about this though. If it wasn't just that like she was out riding horses and her hair just got badly tangled, like because that could be. If it's not that, it's possible that she's just been in a bad mental state for a few days,
She looks like it. I mean,
and that she hasn't taken care. One of the things that suffers when you're suffering from depression or some kind of mental break is no hygiene, right? And her hair, especially when you have long hair like she does, it can get tangled. You have to take care of it. It can get knotted. It can, you have to take care of it. She's got some knots in there that it would take me a while to get out. I can see it. So they've been there for a while. I mean, it's kind of sad. It's like, what? Yeah. Linda says it definitely makes me feel bad for Michael Maricini when she does this video. Yeah, braids. Like Flux keeps her beautiful long hair in braids because that's what we call a protective hairstyle, and then these things don't happen.
That's what I do. I keep my beautiful long hair in a ponytail.
You don't have? Do you have long hair?
I do actually.
Do you really?
I'm
I
growing
learn
it,
things
I'm
about
growing
you
it for
every day.
locks of love right now. That's what I'm growing it for.
I learn things about you every day. Those of you in the chat who don't know, Tug also wears gold rings on every finger, and I thought that was a joke. And then he sent me pictures of his hands. He really does.
It's
Tug's-
hilarious. Like like people realize like we're friends and stuff, but even my friend, they have no idea. Like they don't see my face on here. I don't even have I don't have a camera on here, man. I don't ever like Jeremy from What the Hell, he's always like, hey, I've got to see your face today before you go live. And I'm like, dude, I don't have a camera, man.
Yeah, I know. It's so funny. You're right, though, that your kids would probably hit the button at inopportune times.
I know they would. They actually, so it's funny. My kid one time said my name's out there now, so it doesn't matter. But my kid before that actually said my name one time, but I deflected it so well that no one realized that my kid actually said my real name on live.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah. I mean, I was like, oh shit. So I played it off, and no one caught on.
That's awesome that you were able to do that. I love
I
it.
was lucky.
All right, just
Very lucky.
remember to put the banner up. Make sure you hit that like button when you come in here, or if you've been in here and you haven't hit the like button for the algorithm, please hit it. And if you're on the replay crew, make sure you hit that like button and leave a comment for the algorithm, even if it's just bloop, bloop, blop, blop, goop, goop, boop, boop, whatever.
And
It
make
doesn't
sure
matter.
that you get on that groupie cash train, because Megan, she needs some Lee press on hair right now. In fact, I'd like a little Lee press on back hair. I've never had back hair before, and I've always wanted to braid it. It's so gross.
Lee press on back hair. That is a mental picture I did not need. Jill Nelson became a member of the Fox Den. Welcome. It's super weird in here, especially that noise. We all agree the noise is weird. The Shannon O'Brien Chronicles, thanks for the groupie cash, says my daddy spent his hashtag breadstick money on me and my mama tonight so I could give you guys monies to get you some too. Well, I appreciate that, Shannon O'Brien. Woohoo! Get your breadstick money on.
What am I cheering for? I'm not getting any of that money.
Bust your crime. Became a YouTube member. Welcome to the Fox Den. Oh, good gracious. Bad Duck. Welcome. Thank you for the groupie cash. Says she's fucking quacked in the head. Thank you for the Irish accent on that. That goes with tonight's theme. Ellie Fant, good to see you. Thanks for the 2. Says thank Elaine for introducing some of us to Tug. Oh man, when she said your name, we all lost our minds. I was like, oh my god, Tug's gonna become the most famous guy in the world.
I love
yeah, baby.
I was like, why would you do that? Thank you, Elaine. I wanted to send her some breadsticks or something.
Especially when she said, do you follow the Umbrella Man?
I mean,
the head of Johnny Depp's Twitters.
My Twitter blew the fuck up.
Oh, I bet it did.
Like it's it's like now at 152,000. I always wondered, I would watch Ricada, and I was like, when the trial came up, people knew I was covering it and stuff, so I was picking up numbers, but I was like, Ricada had 100,000 people at the time. I was like, man, how do you get 100,000 people? The next day, Elaine mentioned me, and I was like, oh, that's how you get 100,000 people.
That's how you do it. This is how we do it. Yep. Oh gosh, I gotta go back and find that moment. We gotta remember what day that was on, so that I can go back and find my live reaction to that, because I know I was dying.
I mean, that's now, because it started in April and ends in June, so we're in.
No, but I gotta find like the day she mentioned your name. I gotta.
I'm just saying, like it's actually
coming around.
Yeah, it's not a random thing, it's actually it's a
you should send her a fruit basket. Slightly Neurotic says you should send Elaine a fruit basket.
I was gonna send her chocolates and stuff, but
send her something to her office and just sign it, that umbrella guy.
That umbrella man. I'll be like, that wasn't me.
The umbrella man. Sign it, the umbrella man. Oh God, that's funny. Send her a jar of pickles. Send her several jars of pickles. That's what you have to do, and some popcorn. Oh,
I was going to send her a box of chocolates.
Oh, by the way, earlier I got the Morgan Knight and Morgan Tremaine. I got the two Morgans confused.
Yeah,
it was Morgan Tremaine.
Yeah, Knight was the trailer.
The guy at the trailer park
place,
camping place.
Yeah, camping thingy, whatever.
Miss Jackson NC, thanks for the 10. Says thank you, Dave, so much. I really needed a big laugh today. I love you all. I think those are supposed to be emojis, but it didn't come through for whatever reason. That's super weird. But cool. And Brandis Edwards, thanks for the 5, says toot toot. I really got to get myself a train sound on the board. Really. All right, let's keep going with this. Are you enjoying this video so far?
I'm enjoying it. We haven't even started it yet.
I know.
What are you talking about? I'm having a great time. What's funny is I'm watching this. Like people don't realize, like while we're live streaming, if I'm not hosting, I'm doing like 15 things, and I'm only doing 2 right now. I'm playing a video game because my daughter was like, "Hey, I can't beat this Mario game, Dad," and I was like, "Here, I'll help you pass this level." And I've been playing it for 3 days now. I was like, damn.
Damn.
Yeah. She really meant, Dad, will you beat this game? I know you want to play this. So, but I'm only doing 2 things. So that means I'm actually enjoying watching this.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
All right, here we go.
and what happened on that plane ride? What kind of relationship were you in? Because so many women are going to hear this and realize that they may be needing help. So tell us.
Exactly. I totally agree. So my name is Laura Owens, and like Dr. Shafali said, I have a podcast.
Can't get rid of that,
Nobody Told Me, with my mom. And a
Mom.
lot of that was started because of this abusive relationship that I was in. And I was desperately seeking the answers to why this was happening to me and why I was feeling the way that I was feeling. And so it was really helpful to have experts who were able to, you know, kind of explain things. It was like a big therapy session for me, but hopefully it helped other people as well. And when I started the show, I definitely did not say anything about this abusive relationship. I got out of it in 2017, but I've had to renew restraining orders twice, and it's, you know, it's been a part of my life that.
Oh, the renewing of the restraining orders. We saw a letter to the judge from Michael Maricini saying her renewing these is keeping me from being able to get a job.
Yeah.
Like, I live in a different state from her. I'm not anywhere near her. And she keeps going to court.
We read her statement too, just to make sure we understood everything. So we read through everything that she had to say, and it was infuriating.
We didn't find any domestic violence in it. We found he playfully pushed me into a bush. He pretended he was going to push me into the water. And then the rest of it was just an extremely kinky sex tale that she appeared to consent to.
Yes, because they did it hundreds of times from the sound of it, you know.
And she continued to say yes.
Mm-hmm.
And like, she's going to get into that in this a little bit, where she's going to try and say, well, you know, I wanted his approval. I wanted his attention. And that's why I did it. But I still think you consented then. I just don't know how you get to claim that that's abuse.
Yeah, I don't know how you remove consent years or year or whatever after the fact. You go on holiday, you do all of this, and you keep doing it. And there was no other claim of abuse outside that. In fact, what we learned from her statements is that she tracked down the woman that he was with after their relationship. She wrote that woman some crazy stuff. It sounds like he contacted the police because he was saying she's stalking me, and
now my girlfriend.
Yeah, and instead of the police defending them, the police were like, "Oh, well, you claim domestic violence. Well, hey, why don't you file a restraining order?"
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
Rachel wants to know, does this doctor know who she's talking to? No, clearly.
No,
she does. All she knows is that this is the girl who has the chicken soup story, and she did a TEDx talk.
This is the poison of listening and believing too. Mm-hmm. See, they don't do any research.
No research. Of course, to be honest, 2 years ago, there wouldn't have been anything out there about her. There wouldn't have been any of this press 2 years ago. So if you just did a Google search on her back then, you would find that she was a podcaster, and somehow she's manipulated her Google results to say she's a popular podcaster. I don't know how they define popular. Bing wouldn't tell me.
I know. I tried to manipulate mine, and it wouldn't tell. It wouldn't say like I'm a pickle or a sentient pickle. I tried. I did. I did. I tried changing it. I got some people to change it in the Wikipedia, and they changed it back because I was listed for a while in the Comicsgate Wikipedia. And it was like, you know, there's all these people. And then I had someone change in, and there's the sentient pickle, that umbrella guy. And I think they removed me, period, from that because of it. I swear. I just try to represent.
Oh, so funny. So no, I don't think this doctor had any clue. But she does now, because I've sent her a press inquiry with a bunch of attachments. I've asked her to comment on it and see if, you know, there's anything she wants to say about this interview or about false allegations in general. And I asked her a couple of things about what she said in this interview, where she said she believes women. And I asked her, you know, how about now?
Yeah.
Here's the fabricated sonogram. You know, some women lie, ma'am. How do you feel about it now? I don't know if I'll hear back from her, but I have sent her. I have sent her a press inquiry, so we'll see. All right, let's keep going.
Unfortunately has been, hard to fully get over, and I'm not sure I ever really will. But I really think that the catalyst for me ending this relationship was when I was on a very long flight to Iceland with my ex-boyfriend, and he was being horrible to me. He actually told me that I should kill myself. And this woman who was sitting in front of me had no reason to do this, except she was a kind person, and she heard what was going on, and she slipped.
I can't stop looking at
Wait,
that
she
thing
never
in her hair.
said. She never said that he said to kill herself in statements. She said that he was rude and these other things, but I don't remember her saying that. I would think I would remember that.
I don't really remember that either. But again, remember, the story has changed like 3 times. About the Iceland or wherever the hell she went. The Iceland trip story has changed 3 times. She told one story, and one of these days we're going to go over it. We're going to go over the 3 different stories. I think there's 3. One, she put it in an affidavit in a court filing in the Mike Maricini case. Maybe I can find that. Another one, she put in the chicken soup for the soul. Okay, that's another version. And then the third version is the TEDx one. And all 3 have differences, and we need to go through each one some night. And I don't think we have time to do that.
That would be kind of fascinating to do. I think that would.
Well,
be
if we have time tonight, we can do it.
No, we should do that as its own, because that'll be 3 different.
3
that'll
different
be a lot
things.
because we should play them all together and really pick them apart and have fun.
Pick them apart. It really, there will be a lot to pick apart there, though, too, because there's a lot of differences. For one, how he finds the note and gets enraged. In another one, she hides the note and he doesn't find it. One, she puts it in her pocket and he doesn't see it. Or one, he reads it over her shoulder. There's just all these inconsistencies.
She was like, I had to cheek it like I was in prison. You're like, what the fuck? I haven't heard that.
I swallowed it. Oh God.
She was smuggling it like it was gangland contraband. You'd be like, what the fuck? Am I in your what now?
I wish my cousin was here. She would be telling hilarious jokes about the hair. I got to text her and tell her that I'm streaming. I'm live. Where are you? There's hair to critique.
I think I heard a little one pop in the door. So if you hear that, I may have a little raider. Hey, are you at the stairs? Yeah. That's what I thought. She sits there and listens for the opportune moment to slide down the stairs.
Oh boy.
What you doing? You playing Paw Patrol on the Switch? Whoa, can I see that? Yeah. Show me. Oh my goodness, that's good. Give me 5. You got all those. What are those dog treats you're picking up?
Is that treat from Daddy?
Okay. Well, hey, take it upstairs and play your game for a little while. And
you want to play more?
I'm not going to play it right now. I'm not going to play it right now, but you can play it. You play for a little while, and then we'll play later. Go upstairs there. Hey, go get a rocket pop real quick if you want one out.
You hold me on my game for.
Yes, go get a rocket pop, and I'm. You see this? This is how I end up with them. They're like, "Yo, will you help me on this game?" See, I ended up with I've got a second Switch in my hands now. I've got one in my lap, and I've got another one.
Speaking of Switches, do you have the one that comes apart that you can put on the TV?
Oh yeah. I've got a OLED, the newer one. Man, I love that.
Okay, so my son, Hangry has the one that doesn't come apart. It's like the bigger one, but his cousin has the one that does come apart. And for the longest time before his cousin came to visit, he was building this thing out of Legos that was taking up all the Legos. He was using all the I'm like, this thing is huge. What are you building? And he was like, I'm building a TV. I'm like, that's weird. Why would you build a TV out of Legos? Because it isn't going to work. You realize it's not going to work, right? He goes, oh no, it's going to work. I'm like, nah, do you know how TVs work? Like, I'm talking to him like he's a baby. Because I don't know what's wrong with me. I just think he doesn't understand.
Right.
And he's like looking at me like I'm crazy. He's like, Mom, it's going to work. I'm like, oh, okay. All right. Like a month goes by and I forget all about this Lego TV. A rocket pop. She's got it. She's got the rocket pop.
Hey, did you leave that out on the counter? It's all a blob of that's refrozen.
Ew.
Did you refreeze that?
You did it.
I didn't do it. No,
It was in the fridge.
Sissy did it.
Yeah. Did Sissy do it? Do you think Sissy did it? Hey, do you think Sissy did it?
I think so.
You think so? Yeah, that's what I figured. Yeah. Oh, good
I
Lord.
probably never-
It is. It's like a glob. It used to be a rocket pop. It was 3 colors.
Right.
Now it's just this blended cranberry looking blob with a stick in it.
And it looks like a red blueberry.
Oh, give me a second. This is harder than heck to get out of here. Here you
It
go.
looks like a red rocket pop melted.
It does. All right. Go have fun now. Love you.
Bye.
Bye. No, where's my love? No, love you?
Love you.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. All right. Go have fun. Okay. Anyway, so
his
Lego.
cousin comes over, and I see the two of them sitting at the kitchen table, and they appear to be playing on something, and it looks like that Lego TV, and it's working. And I'm like, what is that?
You're like,
goes-
what the what?
He goes, it's the Lego TV that I made. I'm like, what the what? He's got the little switch. He made a space for the switch in the part where the screen would be. And in the back of that, and he did it for the exact dimensions of the one she has, not the one he has. And they're both sitting at the table playing with their little remotes. And behind the screen is a whole little container for all the little Nintendo games. It is the coolest thing. And he made it work. It does work. He was right. I couldn't believe it. My mind was blown. I was like, oh,
You were like, I was such a fool before.
I'm such an idiot. I'm like treating you like a baby, and you're clearly like a little engineer. Like, and he didn't have any instructions, by the way. He just did that himself by measuring and looking up the measurements online and stuff. It was kind of amazing. I know I need to take pictures of it, but so I have to have my daughter put hers in there, and then I'll take more pictures because I didn't take pictures that day. All right, let's keep going. Here we go.
Me a note on a cocktail napkin and told me I was being abused and that this man was just going to continue to hurt me and I needed to run and get help. And even though I stayed in the relationship a bit longer, that was always in the back of my mind, that somebody had recognized how he was treating me, because he was always so nice to my friends and family. And yeah, that note meant everything to me.
So we're going to talk about the dynamics so other women can understand. But yeah, what you're really saying is that when somebody outside, a stranger who has no dibs in the relationship, tells you like, what are you doing? What do you understand? This is not normal. This is not regular. This should not happen. It like jolts you, you know? And that's what therapists do. I feel like a big part of my job is to tell people, okay, that's not normal. And they're like, oh, I don't even know what's normal anymore.
That's exactly how I felt. Exactly. I don't even know what's normal.
I'm sorry, but I'm going to have to put that on a button. Let's just back up here for a second. Oh, no, not the spinning wheel of death. Don't do that.
That's exactly how I felt. Exactly. I don't even know what's normal.
Yeah.
The jokes write themselves. Maybe that's a new hit song. I don't even know what's normal. I don't even know. Just a little minor perjury. I don't even know what's normal.
Just a little minor perjury, baby.
By the way, if we have time tonight, I really want the chat to help me finish writing my song Minor Perjury. I'm in the middle of it, and I need some help. I'm having problems finding words that rhyme with perjury. So could you all just start thinking about words?
Could you want like jury, perjury? You know, you can use like cut off words.
Jury's too close. Like 2 words that end with, you know, that sort of rhyme with perjury. Surgery. You know, I don't know. Dave says, I always feel bad for a duped interviewer. Oh God, me too. And Dave, it's happened to me before. It's absolutely happened to me before. So I feel the same. I don't think this doctor is in any way to blame, especially because at the time there wasn't anything to Google on her except for
we all need
she seemed legitimate.
we all need a wake up lesson too in what we're doing here. You know, that's why I can understand what's happening with this, you know, because again, there's even more. I mean, we're talking about somebody that, you know, they have a court that's backing them in something. So I mean, there hasn't been a lot of scrutiny over what they're actually doing. So yeah, I can see that. At the same time, we have to really understand that when somebody's pointing at another person saying this person did X, Y, or Z, you really want to get that story right.
Yeah, definitely. Forgery is a great rhyme for perjury. Forgery. There has been some minor forgery too. We're gonna have some minor forgery in the minor perjury song. Tonsil burglary.
Tonsil burglary.
Tragedy sort of rhymes. That purgatory. That's like the other story. We courtesy. Yeah, that works. Emergency. See, I knew we could crowdsource this. We could. No nursery. I actually used nursery. I was thinking of nursery. Absurdity. Ooh, that's a good one. Absurdity. Murdery. All right. I promise when we get to the end of this, we'll work on that song.
Yeah. I remember somebody telling me once, when I was in an abusive relationship, they said to me, you don't see that you guys are not even speaking the same language, and I give you permission to leave. And she was like a friend, like I didn't even really know her very well. So we need sisters paying attention. You know, whenever I see a couple and the woman is crying, my radar goes up because I'm protective. I want to understand. You know, we women want to make the relationships work. So tell us, Laura, why did you stay for so long? Right? Everyone goes, why didn't you just leave?
Everybody says that. Everybody says that.
They don't understand. So tell us, why did you stay?
You know, I felt like I was accountable for why he was treating me that way. And it sounds crazy now because I was extremely kind to him, and I felt like I was the best girlfriend. But when all of that was happening,
whoa,
I just...
Yeah, we've read the text, Laura.
She was extremely kind to him. Does she consider that threatening self-harm while his stepfather was dying?
Yes, that is so fucked up.
That's kind. That's extremely kind. Wow. I mean, wow.
It just shows who you're dealing with there. But again, the spin.
Man, the chat's coming up with some good ones. Audacity. Paternity rhymes with perjury. Unbelievable. Paternity.
It's sad. It's sad because it does in the courtroom too.
And so does maternity. Fake maternity. Oh my gosh, you guys are killing it. We're going to have an amazing song when this is done.
Amazing.
Amazing. Oh, this spinning of this tale, though, this retelling of this story has got to absolutely kill Mike. All right, here we go.
I don't know. I can't really explain it in the right way because it doesn't really make sense. I know it wouldn't to most people. I just, you know, I really felt it was my fault.
Yeah, this is what we do in a weird way. Okay, and I talk about it in my book. We have a grandiosity about our capacity to change things.
Who else has grandiosity problems? Narcissists.
Yep.
Borderline personality disorders, histrionic personality disorders, grandiosity about being able to fix things. Is that what do you think about that from a mental health standpoint?
I think there's a poison in what this quote unquote therapist said off the bat anyway. The sisterhood. I mean, right there, we give away a lot of what we think. And you can see this line where Laura couldn't be an abuser because she's part of the sisterhood. You see a lot of people that think like that. And That's something I think societally we have to unlearn.
Yeah. Yeah. The sisterhood thing bothers me too, because how do you explain female serial killers? What about the suitcase
apparently,
killer?
Apparently, societally, we worship some of them. Again, Eileen Wuornos. You want to see some disturbing stuff? Go look on TikTok. Look at people like worshiping her because her victims were male.
Well, then again, you've got people who did the same thing to the Night Stalker.
yeah.
That guy was the scariest guy on earth. And Ted Bundy, like they all have their groupies, which is weird. I mean, people who groupie around serial killers are sick. But yeah, you're right though. Eileen Wuornos is like her groupies are all about like girl power, which is weird.
It goes beyond the groupies. They're in some kind of strange, tragic denial about what these people are, or they feel like there's a little danger there, but they're caged right now for whatever. I don't even really. I find the psychology of those people fascinating, but I do think that they should be removed from all of us as well. At the same time, but societally, there's something majorly wrong when you look at that. It's just like when you looked at the. You remember when Jeffrey Dahmer had that Netflix show come out? And you saw groupies kind of pop up, but it's a different thing. It's, I don't know. That's a weird.
Oh my gosh, Tug. Michael Maricini's in the chat. Sent A20. Said, thank you for being my voice. I really appreciate it. Michael, we are so sorry that you have been through this. And if you ever want to come on this program, you are welcome. If you want to come on tonight, I'll send you a link right now. You deserve to have your actual voice heard.
Yeah.
Anything you want to say about this? One of the things I've wanted to ask you is how this really affected your life. How have these, and this must be so difficult for you to watch her telling this story over and over again and playing the victim when you are the one who can't get a job. She doesn't want a job. She just lives in the casita out for daddy's money.
What I wanted to understand here, because this is the way I took it, and again, this is going off her own words. She finds out the name of the person that you're with there. I'm just going to say with, because you were with them. Now, I'm not talking about relationship or anything. You were just with them, and that's how she perceives it. Does she track down the last name? I mean, I'm having I'm having problems figuring out, was she stalking you to that point? She finds this woman's last name, tracks her down, makes contact. I mean, it sounds like
it seems like her relationship with Mike went on the longest that we know about, and it seems like it was also really traumatic for him because he was very enmeshed with her family and loved her family, loved her dad especially, because her dad seems like this really charismatic, guy. Obviously, he was like a famous radio talk show host in San Fran, so like people love him. And I feel like this is a really difficult dynamic for him. But Mike, just so you know, we all believe you. If you want to come on here, the mods are posting my email address, and I would be happy to send you a link. No pressure. You don't have to. You are certainly not required to in any way, and we won't think any less of you if you don't want to. But I want you to know that the invitation is open, because you haven't been heard, and the only thing that we've read from you is your letters in court, and that one broke my heart about how it affects your ability to get a job because she keeps on renewing these useless protection orders. It never appeared to me that she needed protection from you, and I would like to hear what your side of the story was. So anyway, you are totally welcome. If you want to come on the show, you're totally welcome. So
I hate it. I hate it for you. I hate the fact that you were out there basically screaming to the wind, because I mean, you're standing off against somebody with a long history, but with deep pockets. I mean, very deep pockets. That's basically been able to do whatever the fuck they want, and no more of that. No fucking more of that. So yeah, I mean, no pressure, but man,
And one of the pieces of information, by the way, that Dave Neal and I are probably going to be going over tomorrow on his show is a video that Laura sent Dave from her email box to prove something. I don't know what she was trying to prove, but what it showed us was all the emails she was sending. It was from her sent files. And I've been over every single one of those. It's just a screenshot basically of all her sent files for like a week. It shows how many members of the press she was contacting over and over and over again, demanding they tell her story in exactly the right way that she wanted it told. This woman is relentless, is what it showed. So I can only imagine what it was like for someone who was taken aback by this, who had no idea that that's what he was dealing with. Yeah. So
if you don't do this, then she's going to harm herself. I mean, it's so manipulative in the moment too. I mean, you're trying to separate yourself from something. I see that in therapy. You see that from people that, you don't see a lot of men coming to therapy though. That's one of the tragedies there. Every now and then I would get a male client, but not very often,
And that is, male self-harm is an all-time high. I mean, it's a real problem. And I think that it's something that if men are not reaching out for help, that is probably one of the reasons. They feel very alone. Let's just face it. Men who are suffering female violence or female abuse, even if it's emotional abuse or verbal abuse, they don't feel like they can come forward and talk about it because people do not believe them. The police will not believe them. During Johnny Depp, I will never forget this. It was unbelievable. And I bet Dave Neal had the same thing happen to him. I got so many emails when I was covering that story. I got so many emails from men just saying, I wanted to tell you my story. I've never told anybody before. And they would pour their hearts out to me. One man said he had become homeless because of it and had spent years homeless, just avoiding the abuse that he was suffering, and he couldn't tell anybody. Another man wrote to me and said, my friend, who was a woman, talked me into going to the police when I showed up at her house one night with my head split open because my female partner had hit me in the head with like an iron skillet or something. And he was bleeding all over the place. And his his friend that he went to, talked him into going to the police. And he said, no, I don't want to go. And she was like, insistent. Oh no, you have to report this. Well, she drove him to the police station and the police laughed him out of the building. And he told her, see, I told you we can't report this. You won't be believed. And that's a really scary thing. And that puts you in a place as a victim of abuse where you are desperate. And I want to know how are men supposed to navigate a system like that?
Very carefully with lots and lots of proof. That's the only way to do it. It's the only way to do it. Otherwise, I mean, even then, when you look at these high profile cases that we see, documentaries and stuff, look at what happens in them. Look at how extreme they have to be to really get that attention. And look at the sentences. I mean, the sentences are crazy. When you look at the disparity between male abusers when they go to prison, there was a release in the UK where you had, I can't remember the body that makes recommendations to judges. I can't remember what that's called in the UK, but they made a recommendation for different sentencing structure for female offenders versus male offenders. And the reason that they said there were multiple prongs to it, like mental health reasons or socioeconomic reasons. And it's crazy because you had the judicial system that is supposed to be, it's supposed to go in and look at everyone equally. It's not supposed to see any difference whatsoever. But there were a lot of buts buts. Well, what about the way this person was raised? And it's disgusting. It's absolutely disgusting.
Yeah, it's not okay. And Dave Neal says, if anyone does defend a male victim, we're called men's rights activists. And again,
what's the problem with
what's
that?
the problem with
wording?
that? And it's because it's been painted. It's been, it's because some of these male rights activists are real dickbags. Let's just be honest. Some of these red pill guys like Jack Murphy. Let's
there's
just bring
plenty,
up
but
Jack
I
Murphy,
think,
for instance, is like a scammer, right? And
yeah,
he's
I
like
think the red pill thing is there. It's rife with scamming, but
it's
you know,
grifting. It's all grifting. And instead of being actual male rights activists, what they're doing is just grifting off of male pain. Right. They know that there's this big ocean of male pain out there. And so they're profiting off of it instead of actually helping anybody. And I think that people like who's that other guy that Andrew, what's his name?
Oh, Tate.
God, I know I'm going to get a bunch of hate, but I can't stand that guy. I can't stand it. And that's just my personal opinion. If you love Andrew Tate, like, I don't think he's sincere. I think that whole thing is an act. I think a person like Dave Neal, I think a person like TUG is a real men's rights activist, somebody who can speak as a man and say, hey, this stuff is also happening to us without making it you're not trying to, you guys aren't like opening up a,
We're not teaching people to
teaching
hate
classes.
women.
You're not
teaching
teaching how to
people
sex
hate
traffic
or
women.
anything else, too. See, there's a lot of people that, when they talk about just men and women, totally, they don't get the point across. Just have confidence when you discuss things with women. You don't have to have this game and all this bullshit anyway. These guys,
Just learn a few jokes. That's all.
I mean, just feel
learn
good
some
about
jokes.
yourself. And if you don't, maybe there's that's where mental health needs come in too, because
Yeah.
people, they feel terrible. Like you would have, instead of telling people that, hey, this is how you game other people. Also, if you got to game other people, you got to trick and manipulate them. That's terrible in its own right. But then we get into you got a lot of people that feel dejected, hurt, angry, and they're not told that they should want to change a system or they hold individuals accountable. They're told to, just like women are told to hate men are told to hate women, and it's not right.
And I agree. And look, Dave is making a great point. He says MRA is a label I don't want. It means a lot of wild things. And it does. He's right. It's got a lot of baggage. I advocate for victims, period. I do the same. I will go to bat. I have gone to bat for female victims and male victims. I wouldn't pigeonhole myself into one category either. But it is essential, though, that men have a right to speak on behalf of other men without being called anything.
I'm fine with it as long as it's I don't personally like group labels because we're all individual. We're just trying to find our way together. But I don't really care, when that comes up, it shouldn't be a negative. There should be people speaking. There should be women speaking for women. There should be men that can speak for men, and we speak for everyone too. I can't speak for the females.
Remember when Dave was like, the Reddit people were all like desperate for a woman to come cover this story, right? Because a woman has a different perspective on pregnancy, except for not that one, not that bitch. We don't want her. That's the wrong woman.
Wrong.
I understand what Dave's saying there, though.
I knew what he meant and I knew what they meant, but I knew what Reddit meant, and they were right in a way because men and women are different and they have different perspectives on things. And obviously you need a woman's perspective, especially a woman who's been pregnant, to talk about this. And also, men and women complement one another, right? I think once we came together as a team to uncover more of this stuff, that's when magic started to happen, baby. And wait till we get till tomorrow. Wait till tomorrow rolls around, because tomorrow, there's some ship breaking tomorrow.
I like people like Dave because I know that we would disagree on a lot of stuff, but it doesn't matter. Who cares? You know, we agree on a lot of stuff too. And we have one point that we're working toward. Everything else falls by the sideline. If we want to have a larger conversation about something too, you know, people like Dave would have that conversation. It would be a decent one, you know?
Like Dave and I have totally different opinions on Planned Parenthood, and I'm still like, you could still eat at my Thanksgiving table. Like, I'm not going to kick you out on the porch or anything. Like, maybe you would talk, maybe Dave could talk me into wanting to give them money someday, or maybe I would talk him into not wanting to give them money someday. I don't know. I don't know what would happen, but I feel like that's why it's important to actually talk to people outside your bubble, because they might know something you don't know, and you might know something they don't know. And like when you come together, you can kind of find that middle ground of maybe there's something I hadn't considered. Maybe I should change my mind about this thing or that thing. I'm sorry, the chat is killing me. I just started a chat that said, "Is that her real forehead?" And that cracked me up so bad. No, but I do think talking to people though outside of your bubble, the echo chamber is such a good idea. The echo chamber is boring, man. It's boring. Okay. Like, and I advocate for making Americans friends again. I actually have an entire line of merch. You can buy it in the merch store that says that.
Very good plug for that. I like that. By the way.
And you can go to the merch store and get yourself your very own Make Americans Friends Again t-shirts, sweatshirts, mugs, wine glasses, beer glasses. I have a beer glass that says that, and it's red, white, and blue, because we're a united country, and we need to stop hating each other because, you know, I believe one way about Planned Parenthood and you believe a different way about Planned Parenthood. There's room for all of us here. And that's what this is about. That's why I love Dave so much. Dave, I don't begrudge him his beliefs on anything. He probably has really valid, good reasons for believing all of those things. And he might even be able to talk me into it. I don't know. But I'm willing to have that conversation, you know?
I liked it because he got a lot of shit for talking to you and me.
I know, right? But that's what makes him so great.
It's so strange to me when I see these things talking about. I'm like, you realize, like, I'm not a keyboard activist. Like, I've done this shit for over a decade. I've been there. Little kids sitting across tables from me, telling me the most horrific stuff you can ever. I mean, so I can't even conceptualize to people. I can't even get it across that these things happen. Stuff that's damaging to the person that listens to it. And these kids have lived that. And, you know,
yeah.
And, you know, to read this stuff, I'm like, over what a label, because you think, you know, politics or some social ideas, or they somehow divide us. It's insane. And that's why, honestly, we keep losing. That's why when we win, we need to stop like slap fighting with each other and seeing things break down. I unfortunately saw that there was after Depp won, people felt very emboldened. They were moving forward. I mean, you could change anything, but unfortunately, people turned on themselves. They started noticing the differences there. And I find that to be such a shame, because, you know, the next step.
Well, that's kind of happening in this story too. In fact, let me take this down for a second, because that actually is a great segue into something that I wanted to address anyway. But Dave was talking about it today on his new video, Bachelor Clayton Accuser Submits New Evidence, His Experts Don't Buy It. This is a great video, by the way. I will drop the link in the chat so that you guys can all bookmark it for later. Please make sure that you do go and watch the whole video. Latest video, here's the link, because there's something going on in the Discord, in Dave's Discord, where, and also other places like on Reddit or wherever, where, and Tug, this involves you and me. The account that runs Clayton's Justice for Clayton on Twitter is being harassed, and by people on our side.
Why though?
I don't know, but she's been doxxed a couple of times. There's some fighting going on, and I think it's jealousy, because see, we caused it, you and I, because we raised money to send her to Arizona. That's when it all started.
You know, like the people need to understand this. Like she's helped individually, and there are other people too. You know, there are other people, and you know, all of you deserve credit. I mean, again, I think none of us deserve credit, really, if I'm going to look at it that way. Some of us will go and cover and other things, but it's not about us. None of this shit is about us. You know, it just that person helped me understand certain things about this case. They helped me get a hold of documents. They make sure that I saw certain things. And when a lot of people were like, no, Megan doesn't need to cover this and Tug doesn't need to cover this. It wasn't just a Dave Neal that was like, hey, anybody. You know, there were people that were willing to catch you up on this story, specific ones. And I appreciated that from that specific person. So I hate that appreciation could cause them problems, because that's not the point of it. You know, the point was to, I mean, they're knowledgeable with this. And again, there's a lot of other knowledgeable people too.
Well, for instance, you know, Hay Bales on Twitter made that incredible timeline that I've been using.
Oh,
and
yeah.
I mean, it's incredible. It's great. In fact, here, I'll drop the link in the chat for you guys, because that, if you're looking for a great timeline, it's there. And then, of course, all the people who contributed to the justiceforclayton.com wiki page. I mean, that thing, there's a bunch of people contributing to that. The Reddit page, the Justice for Clayton Reddit page. If I could send all of you to Arizona for June 10th, I would do it.
Oh, for real. Yeah.
I would do it. And the reason why I wanted to raise money for the Clayton's Justice account was because she's personally helped me too. A lot.
I've just, you know, dealt with her individually. So that's a thing. It's just like with Megan, you know, if Megan were wanting to do something and something came up and she couldn't do it, I know her individually. So therefore, and I mean, that's just the way it is. That's not saying no one else has, you know, done this or that.
Right.
The Reddit page is very helpful.
The Reddit page is great. And I mean, the people on there, I mean, a lot of them really hated me in the beginning. And I think that's, for the most part, kind of died down. Dave says, to be clear, after doing some investigation, most of the hate came from Reddit. No surprise there. The mods on the Discord are doing a good job keeping it sane.
Yeah.
I don't have a Discord. I really feel like I don't need the extra problem. My locals page, who are doing memes right now, we're going to get to eventually. The locals chat is so great. My locals crowd is so fun. They're so friendly. Everybody gets along, and that's all I need. I just need my locals chat. Discord is like a strange place, right?
It wasn't just that. So what the press would do, the reason I had a very fledgling, you know, Discord, was going to try it out, but I saw Yellow Flash. He got covered in the media at one time because you would have fake accounts, sock accounts, you know, somebody controlling that hates them. They would go in and they would drop racist crap or whatever. They would mail it to friendly media. Maybe it's even the people behind media, who knows, you know, these people. But what they would do is within, you know, an hour, they would create a news cycle being like, look, this proves that this person is. And I was like, man, I don't want to deal with all that crap. There's no point to it. So locals is the way.
Yeah, and Dave's Patreon, I'm on there.
Yeah,
I pay for Dave's Patreon every month because I support Dave Neal. I support his journalism, and I'm in there. And his Patreon group is really great. And you know, Dave says we've all put a lot of time and energy into the case, and it can lead to some resentment. It's hard for people like me to know who to thank because most are anonymous, but we appreciate all the help. That is so true. It's so true. I do appreciate all of you. And you people who are dropping stuff in the chat, we couldn't do this without you guys. I mean, we wouldn't find half of the things. The chat found the Fiverr logo. They figured out it said Fiverr. Yeah. All we saw was that there were letters, and Dave and I were like, liver, twin,
liver.
What does it say? HEVN. Like, we're like a couple of dummies, and the chat's like, it says hello, it says Fiverr. I think 2 or 3 people said that before we even noticed it. I mean, so it's not that we're by raising money for, you know, Clayton's Justice, we're somehow saying that others of you haven't done as good a work. It's just that she's been really working hand in hand with us really
if
closely.
I have to have this conversation with fucking adults there, you need to take a moment and look in the mirror. If you really hate a person because, I mean, yeah,
And clearly they don't hate her, because look at how many people answered the call to send her to
yeah.
Arizona. We
I hope
had her a ticket. We had more than we asked for in like 5 minutes. It was
people
5
also
minutes, Tug.
people also need to realize this. People ask, yeah, you get questions. I'm sure you get this too. About, hey, how do I do this? What do I expect from YouTube? Or Twitter or whatever. They'll ask about YouTube, but Twitter or anything's going to be the same way. You have anything that you cover. You don't have to be a large account or anything. You're going to get hate. The hate will surprise you where it comes from. And people, you imagine they have lines and they don't. They'll go after your real life. They'll go after loved ones, kid, anything.
And I mean, for us, we're used to it. Like, we know.
We're
used to it. We don't like it, but we're used to it. So it's not, but for a private citizen like Clayton's Justices, who was wanting to stay anonymous and doesn't have a YouTube channel and isn't out there, isn't a public face of this, right? It's really upsetting for someone like her to get doxxed. And for you guys don't know what kind of problems that she's facing, or what her life is like, or what difficulties she has. And just be very careful about what we're saying about one another. I think actually that's why I wanted to bring up Dave's response, because Dave is turning into someone who is going to be he's going to be the dad of YouTube. He's about to be a dad. And he's becoming the dad of YouTube.
Daddy. I'm not calling you Daddy, Dave. No, I don't
he's
care.
becoming dad. Everybody calls me mom, and it's really funny because he's starting to become dad of YouTube now. And I think his father genes are taking over, because he has some great things to say. So let's hear what Dave had to say about it.
F off. Not even knowing who I'm talking to.
No, he didn't say that. That was a very unfortunate.
F off.
That is
great, Megan. Great quote.
Yeah. That was an unfortunate.
Let's hear what a great father would actually say to all the children out there. Oh, fuck off. It's like, wait, no.
I swear to God, I didn't plan that.
Megan,
I'm hearing that there's threats of people exposing other people's names. Everyone's trying to find out who Jane Doe is. Listen, she's laughing in her casita right now at the infighting going on. If you're on my team, if you're in my Discord, you got to treat everybody as if they're a guest at the dinner table. From now on, any evidence that we're not treating people as a guest at the dinner table, you got to go. You're getting banned. You just got to go. We need positive energy right now. It's the only way to fight this nonsense. Okay, guys? So that's dad looking at you through the rear view mirror saying, I'm going to turn this station wagon around. We're not going to we're not going to go to the water park if you don't knock it off. I'm going to be a dad. That's going to be my new phrase, is knock it off.
It's perfect. And treat everybody with respect. And that's something that kind of got me upset with the last story that we were working on, Tug, when we work on What the Hales, and there was a little situation where I felt like some people were treating guests in my house badly.
Right.
And I don't like that. That's not something that I'm going to put up with. Is guests that I've invited into my house. If I've invited you all into my house and one of my guests treats another one of my guests like crap, well, you're not welcome anymore. And I do feel that way. I feel Dave's got the right point of view. I do not believe, by the way, guys, free speech is for the government. Okay. Free speech is for the government. It's there. They cannot stop us from speaking, but I sure as shit can stop nasty comments in my own comment section. I don't have to put up with it. That's my freedom. And I don't have to put up with people acting badly in the chat, and Dave doesn't either. And if that kind of thing is going to happen, and I'm not saying it is happening in my chat because I haven't seen it, but that is my policy. I like people say what they want to say about the topics we're talking about, but when it turns personal and when it turns on a guest in my house, that's when I'm going to put my foot down and I'm going to give you the boot right out the door. So me too.
I think there's another part to that. See, I don't think anybody's obligated to nicety. But here's the thing. First of all, when we get into doxing and other things, that clearly is a problem. Very, much so. And the other thing in that too is all that shit is a distraction. There's a point to this. And when you look at the larger point, is slap fighting with whomever out there. Again, if you want to slap fight with me, maybe I'll do that. If I'm bored on Twitter, I may slap fight with you, and I may try to humiliate you one day just because I'm in the mood. I don't know, but it is a distraction, and we should keep it. There are plenty of morons out there that you can point that at, and those people, they don't forget who they consider the enemy. People like a Jane Doe, they definitely never forget. And yeah, they may turn on other people, but they always have you in the crosshairs. So you just keep that in mind.
Look at this, Tug. Look what Dave said here. Tell him, I don't think he knows about what happened to you.
I hate that I'll have to alert CPS when the baby arrives. Yeah. The CPS thing is wild. So
that happened to Tug several times because of the Johnny Depp thing, because Amber Stans actually called CPS on him and reported false allegations of child abuse. And Dave here is saying, I hate that I'm going to have to alert them, CPS, when the baby comes, because folks in Bachelor Nation will alert them as a form of swatting. That's absolutely true. And I'm so sorry that you have those toxic people there. But Dave, I know you have a lawyer on retainer, so you're fine, but that's the thing that I would advise you to have.
I'm going to send you something on that. I'm not going to say it live, but there's another thing that you need to do, and I won't. I'm not going to say it live, but I will message you something, and you definitely need to do it because I didn't. And these people are always looking for ways to harass, so you have to be ahead of them. I mean, you are.
I've already had to. My sheriff's office is well aware. I mean, this is a reality, though, of being a public person on the internet. It's the reality of, it's the downside to having a YouTube channel. I love live streaming. I love YouTube. I loved my audience. But I have, in my line of work, I've been up against this before. I've been threatened with doxing. I've been threatened at my own home. I've been threatened with dead animals on my porch. I've been threatened with ARP and ARPing my kids. I've been threatened with, I've been sent murder pictures. I've been sent, I got 4chan after me once, which was not fun at all. So, these are things that you do have to deal with when you're a public person. And here's the thing. A person like Clayton's Justice didn't set out to become a public person. She's just somebody who's trying to help out on a story and has some time to put some things together. She didn't sign up for that. Now I know what I'm getting into. And if I had decided to put my head in the sand at that point and back away and go, underground, I would have done that. But I didn't. I kept on going, and I deal with it the way adults deal with it. And I alert the authorities who need to be alerted. And, it is what it is. The internet is not a safe place. And there are sickos out there who want to hurt you. And I think that we don't need to take that kind of crap in our own communities. We don't need to put up with it just in the name of free speech, because I don't believe that is free speech. That's harassment. It's harassment and stalking, and those things are illegal. So yeah, that can't happen in our communities. And so just to let you know, we won't be putting up with that.
Yeah, I was writing Dave something. No.
Oh yeah. Well, let's go back over to Laura's video. Let's go. We don't need to stay on that for any longer.
Just,
but
I think it is a good message, though. Again, and when people get to that point, I think the best message in there is, why are you doing this? And
why are you doing? Eyes on the prize, people. Yeah. Eyes on the prize. Okay.
If we are united and strong, if we stay that, again, not one case after case, you've proven this point. What's next? You think about the larger point, because, in today's society where people just switch off every day to something, you're continually covering one thing with this, and you're making a point. What is the end goal? Is it just to get Clayton justice, or is it the other victims? How do you carry that out? How many other victims of people just like this? Remember, when you look at laws too, We talk about how this stuff happens. You know, again, the violence against not People's Act, it's Women's Act. Just see the perception of it. And with enough of us unified, maybe we can get to the point where listen and believe isn't poison. There will be, hopefully in my lifetime, I will see a time where when an accusation is presented, I can believe somebody and feel good about it. I want that day. I want that day when victims aren't created extra victims like a Clayton Eckerd. But anyway, I don't need that soapbox.
Well, I'll tell you
Sorry,
what,
I'll
I
get on.
heard Clayton's story and I instantly believed him.
Yeah.
So
And he's a victim. That's what people need to understand.
I heard
you
Johnny
know.
Depp's story. I believed him too, you know?
Yeah.
Like, so there are people who come across as authentic and honest, and you can feel it. You can feel it when they, you know, that's why we have a jury system, and the judge will tell the jury, you can rely on your impressions of the witness. And that means body language. It means, do they sound credible to you? We're mammals. We have instincts, right? You're allowed to listen to those as a juror. And you should listen to that every day in your life. Listen to your gut. You know, your parents tried to teach you to listen to that little voice inside. If something seems off, it probably is. And there is nothing much more off than this interview. So let's continue listening to it.
Oh, sorry. I thought I was muted for a second. I was like, I was cursing a piranha plant in my Mario game. I was like, am I still?
All right. Shh. We're going to listen.
Professional. I'm back. Okay.
Change ourselves. And we next time don't say that word, and next time don't say it in that tone, and next time don't look like that, but look there. And if we just tweak ourselves into a little puppet, we think we can have control and change the situation. Mm-hmm. It's a weird sort of naive magician show we have going on, where we think we can just control it all and become little puppets, and then the person will change. Mm-hmm. And because we so want the relationship to work, right?
Right. And I feel so weird saying this, but I didn't really feel like I deserved more because I thought I was just such a bad person. I
want that on a button. I was such a bad person.
Yeah, I need that on a hat. You know?
Not the spinning circle again. All right, I have to shut down some. I've got too many windows open. Hold please. Windows close.
The woman interviewing, actually, you know, if you separate her from the person that she's speaking to, she has points on relationships. There are a lot of terrible reasons people stay in horrible relationships. You know, it's just, unfortunately, the person she's talking to here.
Yeah.
Whoops.
I deserved more because I thought
I turned my music on accident.
Are Mai Tais next? Are you doing the conga over there? I don't understand what's going on.
That is Mario music. I just absolutely I accidentally hit the unmute button while I was setting stuff. I was pulling up the chat on my phone because the spinning circle. I got it on there. I always watch the chat. So.
It's great that you're just playing video games during my stream.
Hell yeah, that's what I do. Like,
you are not a nice person.
If I don't have to control the freaking the stuff, sometimes I'll make songs while we're chatting. Just whatever.
Uh-huh.
I can't concentrate unless I'm doing like 2 or 3 things. Yeah.
Thought I was just such a bad person. And nobody really recognized it. And the one person I confided in was
trying to get that knot out. It's still not coming out. Look, watch.
And nobody really recognized it. And the one person I confided in
made it worse.
You just threw it backwards.
And she asked,
okay, now this is interesting. Pay attention, Tug, to what she's about to say.
And the one person I confided in was my best friend at the time. And she asked me that same question. Why didn't I leave? And she actually cut me off because she didn't understand it. And it was the worst thing she could have done. It was before I was on that plane with the stranger, and it made me feel awful and like I couldn't tell people what was really going on. And
so her best friend stopped talking to her, Tug. That's kind of significant, don't you think?
Yeah. such a shocker too, because she has friends. What? No, I mean,
No. The answer to that is no. She
had
doesn't. because
friends.
Had friends.
It's
But
probably
let's
her.
see.
It's probably
let's
a
hear
dog that ran
why.
away. It was actually a dog that ran away. That's what-
Let's hear why the friend stopped talking to her.
And that's not the band of sisters that you talk about who are supportive and who feel like they can empower each other.
So you think your friend saying no more was the worst thing she could do, actually?
Yeah, I do, because I felt like when she was saying she didn't understand why I stayed, it was almost like she thought I was lying, like, oh, if this was actually happening.
Oh boy.
Oh, your friends thought you were lying.
Her best
Fri-
friend, Tug, thought she was
Fri-
lying.
Friends don't think you're lying because you're in a relationship and things are bad and for whatever reason you're there. They think you're lying because you're a liar.
Yeah, I mean, I'm trying to think about my best friend, okay? My best friend, she calls me up and she tells me she's in a terrible relationship, and there is just no part of me that would ever believe she was lying to me.
Right.
Like my best friend? No, I believe my best friend.
Yeah, straight up.
Straight up, I believe my best friend. And in fact, like I've said many times, when my best friend or a friend of mine comes to me and says, this thing happened to me, my first instinct is to absolutely believe her and support her any way I possibly can. So in that instance, I do believe in, believe your friends.
Your friend. Yeah. I mean,
my friend. If you came to me and you told me something, I'm gonna be like, I believe you, Tug. Then, the difference though then becomes when you're like, okay, now I want you to write an article and ruin this person. I'm going to be like, oh, yeah, well, okay, let's look at the evidence and see what we got, But you absolutely, like my best friend, there's no way I'm going to end up being like, no, I don't believe you're lying. And if I did think that she was telling me something that might not be 100% true, which I can't imagine that, but let's just say I did. I think because of our close friendship, she's my best friend after all. We've been through everything together. I think I would be able to have that conversation with her and say, all right, let's talk about this part of this. Are you sure that it's not this? Are you sure you're not afraid to tell me the truth?
And there's no instance where my best friend, I would think, man, my best friend's a fucking liar. Like they're just, I can't even imagine that scenario.
Well, like my best friend actually did lie to me for a while because she had a drug problem. And that happened, and like but see, that's the thing. Like I knew she was lying. And then we had that conversation and I helped her get help, So it's
and people
not
will
like,
lie about relationships they're in. And I mean, and try to cover that. I mean, that's different, but I mean,
yeah, but I mean,
she's talking about here.
What she's talking about is somebody like your best friend, like never talks to you again. Even though my best friend lied to me about all kinds of shit when she was going through this terrible thing, that was something that I was still like, I know this is going on and you're going to get some help eventually. You're going to want it. And I'm going to be here. And we're going to go get it. And then everything's going to be okay. And that's exactly what happened. And now she's been living a sober life for many years now, over 20 years. So when it's your best friend, you don't turn tail and run. So either they weren't best friends to begin with, or this woman, which is the more obvious thing, is that she just can't tell the truth. She's not capable of it for whatever reason. And so her friends don't stick around because who wants to be lied to all the time?
Who would want to be? Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Moving on.
I mean, she would have left. And, like I said, it's so hard to explain why I did, but I was just absolutely, beside myself. And I felt, I couldn't tell anybody else. I couldn't tell my family. He was so wonderful to my family. And, I actually sent my mom a text when I was in Iceland and I said, Mom, I need to go home. He is killing me. Which, he did try to do there, but emotionally he also had broken me.
So what did your mom say?
she said I'd paid a lot for the trip and I should continue because she had no idea what was going on. I didn't.
Wait, she just said she told her mom he's trying to kill me. And her response is, you paid a lot of money for the trip. And she didn't know what was going on. Does that make any sense?
No, I'm going to mute for 1 second, though. I got a visitor.
Tell her, you know, I think she thought we'd had a fight or something. She had no idea what was going on. She had no idea I was getting, you know, choked to the point and suffocated to the point where I lost consciousness.
If I told my mom that he's trying to kill me, there would be a plane ticket in my name in under an hour to get home. I wouldn't have to tell my mom details. Would you? Would any of you have to tell your parent any details other than he's trying to kill me or she's trying to kill me? Like, and there would be, and if my daughter said that to me, there'd be a plane ticket.
Not. Absolutely not. There would be no scenario in which if I needed help, I can't imagine, you know, them also being like, oh my God, you got to get away from this now.
Can you imagine your mom being like, well, you paid a lot of money for the trips. You should probably stay.
Yeah.
This is so unbelievable. Why doesn't this, I mean, this is not the appropriate moment, but I wonder if the interview inside is kind of like, what? She did? That's what she said? It's just strange.
I mean, I
3
realize
times and
sorry, Tug, what?
No, I realize there's some bad relationships out there too, but you know, I mean, you've seen that relation. You've seen the text messages that her family's put out, so you know their response to things. You've seen it. You know, if she's saying that she's in mental health crisis or something, they're desperately trying to get her help. So all of this is just, it's unbelievable.
I want to get to a couple of super chats because they're kind of piling up here. Chris Jenner, thanks for the 5, says, I love that Tug is so kind to his kids every time they interrupt. It's helping heal my childhood trauma to see him treat them with so much respect. Aw.
Well, I mean, they've done a lot for me. Yeah, no, they've made me a nicer person. I love them. Like when they come down here, the reason they're coming here is because, you know, I'm their go-to. I am their support system. So yeah, I mean, I appreciate everyone. Like when I stream with people behind, I'm like, hey, you know, kids. With Megan, she has kids, so she knows how it's gonna be anyway. But I tell people, I'm like, hey, I can't control that. Yes, I could lock a door, but I'm not going to do that. Because my kids need to be
the other night, it was funny when you and I were streaming together and our kids interrupted us one after the other, like for a solid 30 minutes. And it was like both of yours came down and all 3 of mine came in at different times. And it was kind of like back to back. And by the end, I'm like, oh, okay, what? Dude, how many more times is this going to happen? But you know what the truth is? One of these days soon, I'm going to be in an empty house.
Yeah. And
I'm going to miss those interruptions. And I know that. There are times when I cry about it already and they're not gone, you know, so time is flying way too fast for me. Helen Morgan, you are so generous. You gifted 10 memberships and I have seen some of the I know. Welcome to the Fox Den, all 10 of you. I see some of you are just realizing that you got gifted memberships and you're very excited about it. So I'm excited for you. Wendy Bono, thanks for the 5. OMG, her voice and facial expressions annoying me so much. Clayton must have had his eyes closed and AirPods on. Ew. McCrae, thanks for the 20, says, hey guys, probably can't stay the whole time, but enjoy you both. Elo is so crazy. How funny that Dave probably didn't know who Tug was during Depp trial. And now y'all are friends. Sorry for that word, but not sorry. At least you acknowledged how much we hate it. The Shannon O'Brien Chronicles, thanks for the oh my gosh, you found it, day 21. The Umbrella Man, 539.58, day 21. I gotta look it up because our reactions is so great. So day 21 on Ricada Stream, Depp Trial, Hicksville, Mr. Knight. Perfect. I am going to, maybe on the anniversary of the trial, we should play that. We should watch it again because that was a wonderful moment. Patricia Cerny, thank you for becoming a YouTube member. Welcome to the Fox Den. It's weird in here. Get ready for the weird scream. Here it comes.
I knew when reading certain documentation, I had the impression that something like that might happen, but I didn't know. And none of the people that I was communicating with quite a few people. I can't say who or what, except of course Adam Waldman said something, so I can say that. Everybody else can't say who. Let's just say lots of people. Because everyone will communicate. The thing is, though, they won't communicate if they're going to be part of a trial, if they're a witness or whatever. So I had this feeling that something might come up, but the way that they brought that in, I was stunned that her lawyers would do that, thinking that it could somehow be damaging to people like myself. I was like, fuck yes, you mentioned me. Yeah, hell yes. That's amazing. Thanks for this publicity worldwide.
Oh, it was so good. It was so good. I'll never forget it. It was one of those moments. Michelle, thanks for the 2. P.S. Recovery addict wants a rap battle with you. Oh, well, he will get it. He will get the rap battle of his life. Is he into the Suno now? I got to ask him because that's funny. Mary Thurston, thanks for the 10, says, I can't watch during the day, so I listen on the way home. I work in mental health and need laughter at the end of the day. I enjoy your laughter the best. Aw, thank you for being here. I sure appreciate you. Dana Creasy, thanks for the 20. I love Dave and Tasha, adding Megan Tug. Thank you for all the truth, work, and amazing laughs. Well, you're welcome. We're glad that you're here. Dave said, why did she stay for so long? Because the dating contract hasn't expired. Duh. Yes, Dave, that you figured it out.
He got it right there.
Daniel Wynn says, Mambo number 5, a little bit of perjury for my twins, a little bit of Fiverr helps me win, a little bit of forgery on the side. Oh yeah, I could go with that. We could definitely do something with that. Thank you for the super chat. And we got Michael Marancini. Thanks for being here, by the way, Mike. And anytime you want to talk, you're welcome to be here. Susan Jordan.
I like seeing some people like him expressing that it's helpful. I appreciate you taking the time, if nothing else, to say that, because sometimes we're conflicted over what we cover too. We have discussions about this behind everything. Like, where are the lines? When there was a name that hadn't been mentioned, for example, we talked about it, and we were like, there's no way that name ever comes out, but how far can you go? And just hearing people say, yes, I'm glad that's there. Thank you. Appreciate you.
Yeah, we do struggle sometimes, and we worry about victims. We worry about victims very much. A lot of the cases that we cover have victims in them, victims of abuse, victims of bad things. And we worry about that. We worry about it being detrimental to them. So it's nice to hear from one of them that it's a positive experience, because that's all we ever want, is for it to be a positive experience. Oh, cool, honey. My daughter just came in. What did you do? Did you paint this?
Disco ball.
Oh, it's really neat. Did you just do this?
Yeah.
Oh, that's really cool. I love the colors. That's awesome.
I had to use an app to get the color palette.
I love it.
Thank you.
Oh, what's the little one doing right now, by the way?
He's watching YouTube.
Oh, shoot. He needs to go to bed. Can you put him to bed?
Yeah.
All right. You can send him in for a hug, okay? All right. Thanks. I didn't realize what time it was. It's getting late. Susan Jordan, thanks for the 2. Supertramp, a logical song coming up. Thank you for that, too. I appreciate that. Catherine. Wait. Nope, that's the wrong one. Why am I having a problem doing this now? Catherine Blankenship, thanks for the 5. Hey, hell, Johnny had a ton of proof, and look what he went through. It's all disgusting. Yeah,
look what he's still going through. Still, I mean, we have an entire mainstream, but there are reasons for that. That'll be a conversation for another day. I'm not getting on this soapbox right now.
It's true, though. Yeah. Patriot for Life Mima says, Megan, do you think if the roles were reversed with Jeremy and Lynette and he stalked her, would he not be in jail? I think so.
He would.
He would absolutely be in jail. How big he is. Look at the size of him. And that's usually how this stuff is determined. Like, oh, well, you're so much bigger, so you can't be hurt by a woman, blah, blah, blah.
That's always the go-to for like that type of abuser, for sure.
Yeah, Rosalind, I sent Dave an email about this just today, actually. So we are talking about it. Rosalind wants to know, can we find out if Dave is going to do a show around the 10th? I'm trying to talk him into it. I sent him an email. Hopefully he'll get to that, and we'll talk about that soon. And as soon as I know, for sure, we're going to do a meetup somewhere in Scottsdale. And when I find out where that is and when, I will alert you all.
I want to find out when Dave's having a Nashville show again. I'm gonna go. I might pop
Oh,
up
won't
there.
that be fun? I'm sure he'll be doing that soon. Tracy Fagan, thanks for the 2, says a house divided itself against itself cannot stand. Very true.
Indeed.
McNutt says there's a crumb in her hair. I know, I can't stop looking at it either. I can't. McCrae, thanks for the 20. I only dropped my best friend after I got dragged into her custody fight, and then she married another controlling asshole after that. I told her I can't take her drama anymore. Sometimes you do have to cut it off, like when you have a toxic friend. You know, that's different than a true best friend, somebody who's, you know, you're good for one another. Sometimes you get entangled into these friendships that aren't good for you, that are actually toxic, and then you need to do something about it. Mindy Mouse, thanks for the super chat, says your BFF will always call you on your bullshit. Thank you. That's what I was trying to say. That when my best friend was lying to me, I was like, oh yeah?
Bullshit.
Bullshit.
You are fake news.
Yeah, I know what you're doing. Don't lie to me. You can't lie to me. You can't. So you might as well stop trying, because there's no point in it. You know, eventually we got over it. But that's the sign of a true friend, a friend who will allow you to confront them, a friend who, when you confront them, they actually feel the prick of conscience that says, yeah, I'm off the rails. I need to fix this. And if you don't have a friend like that who will not allow you to confront them when they're doing something wrong, and you should also be open to being confronted and called on your bullshit. When you don't have that, then you gotta leave. Courtney says, oh my God, I'm a member of the Fox Den. Thanks, whoever gifted me a membership. I missed it. I'm sorry. It was probably Helen, because she gifted a whole bunch of them. Siobhan Curley, thanks for the super chat, says, as a family law attorney representing most men, I can unfortunately assure you all there are many Laura Owens out there. Hot crazy scale is real. I know it is. It's so true. The hot crazy matrix. The Shannon O'Brien Chronicles, thanks for the 5, says AH suffered friend loss too. Must be some kind of defriending flu bug. Friends fly far, far away.
She beat on her friends. That's the crazy shit. You know,
yeah, and her friends all lived off of her and everything, and she couldn't even keep them then when they were like squatting in her mansion and everything, like the penthouse. What did I used to call them? The 7th floor coven. No, that was in J Hatch. What, they were the 5th, the penthouse, the coven of penthouses 1 through 5. Yes. We've had a lot of witches' dens around here. Tammy Fayette says, I'm enjoying this stream. Thank you. Well, we're enjoying you, Tammy. K-Rab, thanks for the super, says at one point Elaine called Tug that umbrella god. I have the t-shirt to prove it. Did she really?
That's actually how the thing translated it over. The way she says it, YouTube thought it was calling me. That's why in my intro I'll have, Tug driving. It's like that umbrella god, because that's how it translates.
That's so funny.
Yeah, and it did. If you go back, there's a part
that.
where it sounds like she's saying that umbrella god. I was like, hell yeah.
So funny. Mindy Mouse, thanks for the 5. Your BFF will always call you on your bullshit, which is probably what happened. And she got tired of hearing Laura Owens lie. She lied.
She lied.
Uh-huh. Thank you for the super chat. I appreciate it. And the last one, SF, thanks for the super, says Elaine is how I found that umbrella man.
Well, thank you.
Thank you.
I appreciate you.
All right, let's see if we can get through this.
Yeah, but it's not her fault, It was my fault.
Right. This is something I always say to sisters, to women, is children and women typically don't lie. If your child comes to you and says someone is hurting them, please believe them. And if a woman says to you, my boyfriend is choking me, or I'm being choked in this marriage, you have to believe. You know what it takes for us to say it out loud? We would never say it, because we're conditioned to be the pleaser. So as sisters, the minute someone says that, you need to believe them. And, my mother tells us, she told me a story growing up, me and my brother, that when she was feeling unhappy in her marriage, she went to her mother's house. This was in the first year or 2. And her mother didn't believe her and sent her back home, and thank goodness. And she had me and my brother, but she went through a rough phase and her mother did not believe her.
See, I really don't understand this. Women don't typically lie.
Yeah, women don't lie.
All people typically lie. People lie.
I have
That-
an exercise for anyone that truly believes that. I want you to take 500 random women on Facebook. I want you to build you a little group, and I want you to put your banking information in there. Would you do that? Absolutely not. Why? Because people lie and they cheat and they steal. But, you know,
Yeah,
sisterhood.
so saying that women typically don't lie, I feel it's just not. I mean, maybe it is. Maybe women tell the truth more than they lie. Maybe.
Well, I mean, there's
But-
a lot of horrible fucking people out there. That
Right.
doesn't mean you got to be running around being like everyone that says something. I look at it this way: if a person, what Me Too should have been, if somebody is saying, "I have this terrible thing happening, it's happening to me too," empathy. But people confuse empathy with somebody trying to, swing a sledgehammer at someone's life
somebody
that they don't want.
else.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a big difference between believing someone who tells you I'm being choked out and I'm in this bad relationship and you helping them and like giving them some advice, like maybe you should get out of this relationship. There's a big difference between that and then saying, and I want you to go to the news with me and tell everybody that this person did this. Oh, well, wait. How can I prove it? I mean, I've said this. I like what Manders 13 says here. Good to see you, by the way, Manders. House's first rule: everybody lies. And that is the truth. Everybody lies. Now, people don't lie about everything, and not everybody tells damaging lies. Some people just tell white lies to save your feelings. They tell you that they can't make it to your party because they have another engagement, and really they just would rather sit home alone. That's not really a lie that's going to damage anybody,
Sure.
right? But everybody lies. And some people lie about massive things. Some people don't just do minor lies, or they commit minor perjury, which is a big deal. Like there's a difference between lying about those pants and how they look on you and then lying about your neighbor, like bearing false witness against somebody. That's another thing that a lot of Nick Rekieta has talked about this many times. The Bible does not say do not lie, thou shalt not lie. That's not what it says. It says thou shalt not bear false witness against thy neighbor. That's the big one. Lying in and of itself, it depends what the lie is. Makes a difference. If you lie to save somebody's feelings, is that the same thing as tricking a court into believing that Clayton Echard knocked you up with twins? Absolutely not. This is why I'm a Catholic. There are categories of sins. they rank in a different spot, right? Some of them are worse than others. And that is, to me, it makes the most sense out of a chaotic world. You have to have some order, and there's an order of things that you shouldn't do. The 10 Commandments are a real big deal. And it doesn't say thou shalt not lie. It says do not bear false witness against thy neighbor. That's a big deal. And that is what our laws are based on. And so this is a very big distinction we need to make. But yeah, all people lie, and some of them lie way bigger than others.
And so at least we all can take away today that if somebody says it once, we believe people, our children or our sisters, and we support them. So how would you have liked your friend to have behaved? Because what if she's trying to wake you up?
No, I'm sorry, I can't. Susan, a lie is not a lie. No, some lies carry damage with them. Some lies are damaging. Other lies are to save someone's feelings, which can be a kindness, right? If somebody asks you, what are you going to say in a grocery store when someone in front of you has a huge ass? Hey, that's a big ass. You shouldn't buy those ice cream bars. That might be true, but you shouldn't say it. We learn these things. Like lies of omission are a thing too. The things you don't say, but you do it because you don't want to hurt someone. There's a big difference in the intention, and the law recognizes intention too. The law recognizes it. For instance, like when in a defamation case, you have to prove malicious intent. Because if you said something that wasn't true, but you believed it was true, That's not the same thing. That's not defamatory. If you truly believed at the time what you were saying was true, and then you find out later it wasn't, well, you should correct yourself. But that's not defamatory. It's defamatory when you tell a malicious lie. So there are different categories. And
Don't you find it interesting that this lady does not, she talks about women and children, but she does not include men in any of this?
Oh, yeah. She hasn't mentioned men. But this is about the sisterhood.
Yeah.
You know, they don't even, it doesn't even cross their minds that this can happen to men.
Now, kids do need to be definitely listened to for sure. I mean, you know, obviously things are going to be investigated, but damn straight kids need to be, you know, our judicial system fails terribly in that category. So,
oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Flux, you're so funny. Flux goes, like when people say babies are cute when they're first born.
Hey, I've learned this. Your baby is always beautiful, you know.
Yes.
You know, and everyone else's baby looks like a damn worm.
It
It does. I'm like, holy God, is that an earthworm or is that your child? You know.
Some of them look like those pictures we saw that on her evidence. Oh, Lord.
And you're not listening. So she does both. Like, say, listen, I love you, I'm here for you, but just know he's an asshole. Like,
that's what would have been helpful at the time, because I just couldn't confide in anyone. And you know, she saw bruises on me. She could tell what was going on. And when you see that, I mean, I guess I get it as a friend. I mean, if you hadn't been through that yourself, you wouldn't really understand. You know why? I think I would have asked a friend the same thing, if I'm being honest, if I hadn't been through this myself.
So this friend and you are no longer talking?
No, I mean, I stayed in the relationship almost another year, but it crushed me. I just felt like I had nobody, and I had this guy telling me, you know, all I wanted was praise, and I was not getting praise from him, and I would do anything to get praise from him. Like, this trip to Iceland, I emptied, you know, a savings account to try and, you know, just it pleased him, and that didn't do anything. And when we were on the trip,
you noticed that wording there, okay? Because we talked about other trips that she says that she took too after this. You notice she said a savings account, you know, in that. In other ones, she said my savings account. You know, it's like it's a singular, but there she said a. So, you know, that seems to say that there's more. I just thought that was interesting.
Siobhan, what do you mean by this? Interested in Tug's opinion of kids being coached. You mean coached to tell untruths? I don't know what you mean. Do you know what she means by that, Tug?
I'm not sure.
I'll try and watch the chat if you want to explain a little more so that he can.
You can
answer.
tell when kids are. See, there are things about kids when they tell tales to you. You know, kids, when they, like a little kid tells a tale, they embellish to degrees. But when you listen to the truth from kids, I mean, you can hear it. You can see it, you know, and
until they get to be teenagers and then they fool you.
Yeah, I mean, we're talking little kids. I mean, you can feel it on them, and you can see it in their responses, the way that they respond to other people and more.
Yeah. Yeah, and then they get older and you can't tell anymore. So prepare yourselves, folks.
He told me, like, oh, he really hoped that I would come to his wedding with another girl. Just like crazy stuff. And, you know, like the thought of saying that I didn't deserve that didn't really occur to me.
When she says it was crazy stuff, I feel like, yeah, this is a crazy story that I don't believe. He said to you, he was going to go to a wedding with another girl or her wedding with another girl. I don't really understand that story at all, but okay.
Okay, so it did not start off like this. It started off with love bombing. Was he charming? And he swept you off your feet and you were the most beautiful girl in the world in the beginning?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Oh, totally. Totally.
So
Yeah.
Complete textbook malignant narcissist.
Yes, he was absolutely a narcissist, and I think he was a sociopath as well. I mean, he was just horrible to me, and
Okay, let's just also take a break here to say that Laura Owens, isn't it great that she has her freedom of speech, that she can say these nasty things about somebody she doesn't like? And shouldn't we all have that same freedom? She's calling someone a sociopath and, armchair diagnosing him. And, well, Laura, you get what you asked for. You asked for the internet to investigate your story. And now people are saying the same thing about you. And I'd like to know, how does it feel? Because that's how Michael Maricini has felt, except that it seems like you've accused him falsely and everybody else is seeing you for what you are and what you did. And it's just interesting to me that she feels very free, Tug, to say nasty things about people, but she wants to shut down anything about her, right?
But that's how it has to go, right? It's either, that's why people don't say the truth, they say their truth.
Interesting. Totally. Thank you, chat.
don't really recognize myself years later, because I have higher standards for myself now. Thank goodness I do, right? But
so
I think
this is the hard thing, that it's every relationship starts off well. Otherwise, why would we continue? And it's and I tell people, don't count on the first 6 months. Don't count on the first year. It's after the first year that you should start thinking about the relationship seriously, because nothing really shows up till then, because we're showing each other our best sides. We're hiding the parts of us that we're afraid the other will reject. And then the true self, in his case, that's his psychologically unhealthy self, shows up. And now you are already mired in the relationship, right? You were in love with him. So you were loyal, you wanted this to work. So let me ask you, when the first few times it began to happen, how did you just say, yeah, obviously he's treating me like this because I'm stupid, or obviously he's treating me like this because I'm ugly? I mean, he used to call you ugly, right?
Oh, he called me ugly all the time. I think he mentioned the first time that he did it, that it was something that really turned him on, and I was appalled when he said that. But he was nice to me. He was nice to me after, and I felt like, I was just shocked, and
Okay, so this is a really weird thing, but I do have a personal experience with this. There was a guy that I dated who said something really nasty to me once in sort of that situation, and I never saw him again. I was offended by it. I didn't like it, and I walked away. Like I have a real hard time hearing that someone's like, oh yeah, he told me I was super ugly and he was really turned on by it, and so because he was nice to me afterwards, I just put up with it. Like, there was an entire Sex and the City episode about this, by the way, if you will recall. Charlotte was was dating this one guy, and she goes home with him, and they're right in the middle of it, and he blurts out, "You fucking bitch, you fucking whore." And he keeps doing it. Like, this happens like 2 or 3 times in the middle of sex. And she's like horrified. And he's all, I'm sorry. I'm a terrible person. And she's like, well, do you have to say that? Like, is this something that, and it was really funny, but also at the same time, like we've some of us have met people like this, like where this is like a thing that they do. You don't put up with it, you leave.
It's fascinating. This is one of the reasons, like, the Amber Heard situation didn't make any sense to people. Her story kept changing and changing. And finally, when we got to the trial everyone saw, she had gone from, there were incidents toward the end of the relationship, when you have this established relationship and stuff works into, right from go, he was doing all of these horrible things. And, that
and then she married him.
Yeah,
So
and
her story is that they even had this happening before she walked down the aisle with him, and she's like, "Oh, but he was the love of my life, so I had to do it. I had to marry him." Like, what?
I mean, she brought in, pictures that were supposed to be from the very beginning. And, over time, you saw this story develop just like we're seeing here. You see this commonality. You have the individual traits of every one of these frauds. But with Herds, it's fascinating because you had 6 years to go over, and you could watch. Everything was caught, and she got media attention from Go, just like Laura Owens did. Like you're digging back through this, there's attention way, way back. And when you started looking at it, you saw 3 incidents. They develop into 6 incidents, and then by the time again 6 years plays out, they developed into everything. I mean, these these lies aren't subtle. Like Owens's story shifts are not subtle. It's just that people are just now finding out how bad some of this stuff actually has been.
Jen Lee 143 says, Megan, it's hard to leave. Trust me. I believe you. I want to say right now, I believe you that it's hard for women in abusive situations to leave. And I think it's especially harder, once you're financially tied to that person. In this particular case, there was actually no factors for her to not leave him. She's independently wealthy. She has a family to fall back on. There are no children involved, right? For all the victims I have spoken to who could not leave an abusive situation, almost every one of them was because they were financially dependent on the abuser. And if they left, they would be homeless. So that's one of the main reasons why it's hardest to leave. And I do not discount your personal story. And if you had a difficulty leaving, and I want to make sure people understand me, if you've been in an abusive situation and you couldn't leave and you had a hard time leaving, I believe that.
We lie to ourselves too. People lie to themselves. If they have a foundation built in relationships, absolutely. There is nothing discounting that whatsoever.
I just don't believe her.
Yeah.
I don't believe her. I don't believe she hasn't given me a reason why it was difficult to leave him.
No, nobody should ever. Any comments about an individual, you're talking about an individual circumstance. We are not talking about anyone else in this.
Yeah, Jen says financially and emotionally, 23 years, but I'm free. And I'm really happy for you that you're free from that. And I know how hard. I know it can be very hard, both emotionally and financially. I know that. But in this particular case, I don't believe her. I'm just saying, I don't believe her. I don't believe this person. By the way, I have to show you a meme from Locals. I've been having these spectrum problems. Locals has memed me as a robot. For my robot voice. I need to save one of these for my icon for when that's happening. Hold on. I need one of these for my avatar. Perfect. I love it. I like the one-eyed one. That's fun. I hope Spectrum gets their shit together. They claim they have fixed my problem. They claim they fixed it. Have I been robot-y tonight at all, Tug?
No, you have not.
Thank God.
What did you say? I couldn't. No, I'm just kidding. I'm telling you, it takes everything in my being not to fuck with you about that. It does. I'm like, I used to do that like on Flashcast. If somebody had a problem, they'd be like, "Oh, can you hear me?" I'd be like, "I think you're speaking, but I can't see anything happening."
Oh my God, Locals is the best. MeganFox.locals.com. I am now Robot Fox because this is funny. Well, Spectrum sent me a message today and said that it was fixed. I don't really believe them, but that's what they said. All right, I'm going to try and fast forward through the doctor speaking and just get to Laura and her.
I just thought of it.
What?
In Transformers, there's Megatron. It's Megantron.
Megantron. Hey, there's over 1,000 of you here still in the chat. By the way, thanks so much for being here. I sure appreciate you. Make sure you hit that like button. The like ratio is pretty good. We've got 882 likes, but I think we can do a little better because I bet some of you have forgotten to hit the like button on your way in. I bet. So maybe try that. I know Spectrum is garbage, you guys. I understand, but I'm in rural America. And in rural America, we have there are monopolies.
Limited options.
Very limited options. And everybody's like, just get Starlink. And I'm like, I've looked up the reviews. You don't want me to get Starlink. It'll be worse. So I'm waiting for Spectrum to try and fix their shit because I've been told it's going to take them about 2 weeks because they're doing updates and supposedly they're going to fix it. Okay, let's see if we can hear any more. I'm going to speed this up a little bit. Maybe that's what we'll do. Let's see what Laura sounds like sped up.
To me before, but I also, I wanted to please him, and then it just got worse and worse and worse. And I certainly wasn't wanting to go along with it then. And I just don't, I've tried to block out all of the stuff that happened to me at that
because it didn't
point because I think a part of me still takes some accountability for it,
Right, so there's a difference between taking accountability for your allowing the abuse versus taking accountability for the abuse.
Okay.
Like, so if somebody calls you stupid and you didn't say anything, it's not because you're stupid, it's because you didn't take action to stop the abuse. But you're making excuses for the abuse. Like, of course he called me stupid because I am stupid.
Right.
I've done that. I guess, I wish I hadn't said that. We women typically blame ourselves. If only I didn't say that. If only I didn't wear that. If only I didn't talk to my ex so much. If I didn't flirt so much. We blame ourselves, right? So we're looking to excuse the bad behavior through a reason. And the reason we give is ourselves. We did something wrong. That is where we go wrong. So taking accountability means, why did I allow myself to take blame? Why did I make excuses for the bad behavior?
Right. So what should I have done when it first started, when, he first started he was verbally abusive first? What should I have done so that it didn't go further?
It's really hard because the first time you're like, this is only because it was.
Leave. Leave. Don't put up with verbal abuse. Don't do it. Look for the red flags, find the red flags, and then listen to the red flags. That's my advice. Pay attention for the red flags and get the hell out when the red flags start waving.
A blue moon, and the stars won't align. So you're not in awareness, you're in disbelief. So I would say the first time no one can do anything. Now, if he had hit you the first time, then it's that's a behavior that doesn't change, leave. But if it's emotional abuse, like put down degradations for no reason, but you aren't even fighting, then you begin to have red flags. And I would say by the 4th, 5th time that you're hearing it clearly,
she said red
you
flags.
need to understand that.
See, I wouldn't wait for the 4th or 5th time. I think the second time is as far as I'm willing to go. But the first time, I a lot of time. I mean, I was in a relationship that sometimes was verbally abusive, but I, chalked it up to a bad temper, and he did have a bad temper, and it really wasn't about me. We weren't a good fit, but we stayed friends. But I don't think that, if it's like that, what she's saying, someone saying you're ugly, I don't know why you would stay with that. That's like someone just telling you, I don't like you. So leave. He's not that into you. He thinks you're ugly.
It sounded like he tried to leave. He himself tried to leave. And she was like, hey, what about your babies?
Right. Yeah, we're forgetting that we have all the text messages where she's begging him not to leave, and he's trying to get the hell out of there. Thank you for bringing us back to reality. I'm even like sitting here believing her story for a second. Like, what do you mean you didn't leave? Why didn't you leave if he was so abusive? And then it's like, oh, wait. Wait, we've seen the text messages. He wasn't doing any of this.
Well, it becomes easy for people to shop these stories. And these are, people have to understand this. This can be somebody, again, going out and trying to get their story out, catharsis, or it can be an abuser abusing someone and continuing the abuse that they were doing. Even when a person has walked away, they're still abusing them. They're abusing them, and they're building a profile off of it. We've seen some high profile people do some pretty jacked up stuff like this. People make quite a bit of money. You know, there's the I can't think of her name right now. The lady that you know that movie, The Lovely Bones. Mark
I never
Wahlberg.
saw it, but I do know about it. I know of it.
So that lady, she wrote another book called Lucky, and in it, there was a man arrested for I'm going to say ARPing her, and he spent, I believe, 16 years in prison, and then he was exonerated. And yeah, people came up with all types of reasons why she wasn't to blame in that scenario. It was the system messed up, or this or that, and it's fascinating and horrifying to see. People make millions off of pointing the finger at, I mean, just at either the wrong person, or they do this stuff again where they go in and they tell this story, and this person's taking that story, everything that's being said right now, at face value, every single thing, and it's frightening how easy this is to do.
Right. And you can't really blame the interviewer because
No,
she doesn't
no.
have any reference for this. All right. We're going to stop this interview at this mark. Tug, maybe on Thursday night when we're together, we can kind of pick it up and see if there's anything else at the end. I don't know. It depends on what happens between now and then. It could be.
There's so much crazy.
There's
every
so
time.
much craziness. But, maybe we'll go over it on Thursday. Maybe we won't. Maybe I'll just drop the link for you guys and you can watch the rest of it and give me notes on things. But I want to get to writing Minor Perjury because I really want to do that tonight. So I want us to write Minor Perjury together. I have part of it written. We may have, and let's get over to that right now. Let's do this. Well, welcome to the AI portion of the show. We are writing a new song.
This is called the AI portion with your host, Megan Tron.
It's called Minor Perjury. Here are the lyrics I've come up with so far. We're going to workshop this. We need a verse 2. I have a verse 1. Do you swear to tell the whole truth? She said. I raised my hand and nodded my uncombed head. An uncombed head is not really working well with the lyrics because the AI doesn't know how to say uncombed. So maybe I should say messy head. Messy? Do you think messy would work better?
Sometimes you can also separate un and combed, and then it'll.
Oh, and say it better.
Yeah.
We'll try messy. Nodded my messy head. Nothing but the truth. So help me God. I swore on the Bible and my lawyer gave me the nod. Then I spun a tale so wild. That no one could believe, full of fabrications only Adobe could achieve. Throwing caution to the wind, I changed my tale. Who cares? I'll never pay. There won't be any bail. Chorus, it's just a minor perjury, you fools. Go back for snacks in nursery school. Ain't nobody getting nabbed for a little treachery. My lawyer says it's only minor perjury. All right, we may have to work on that chorus because we have all these other words that let's see. We have all the paternity, maternity, felony. Let's see. All right, I'm looking at the chat. Hyperbole, that's
felony
a good one.
works really,
Felony works really good. There won't be any bail. What do you mean it's a felony? It's just a little minor perjury.
Yeah, something like that. You can't jail me for a felony. I mean, this is just minor perjury.
Go back for snacks in nursery school. No, I don't. Let's see. I was going to make nursery rhyme with perjury, but it didn't really work out that way. Let's see. It's just a little minor perjury. It's just when your twins disappear, it's not a medical mystery. It's just a little minor perjury. Oh, I like it. Let's see. It's just a little minor perjury. When your twins disappear, it's not a medical mystery.
And you could put, man, you could have made that.
A little perjury.
You could have done a whole you could do a whole line, it could be like, you could put in somebody slipping a note on airline, you know, a little minor perjury
Let's
off of
do
that.
let's do verse 2. So we have verse 2. All right, should we? Yeah, let's do the napkin story. Let's do the napkin story. A major forgery. That's funny. That would also work. When your twins just disappear year after year. When your sonogram is a forgery. Ooh. First, the hook will bring you back. Yep. Is it pregnancy or just dysentery? Oh my gosh. All right, let's see. This is harder to do live than it
It's
normally
very
is.
difficult to do.
It's very hard to do live. All right, let's see. I have to think. Oh, flying commercially. Yeah.
That works
Trip
really
to
well.
Iceland. Flying commercially. I sat through the verbal, what's the word? Verbal abusery.
No, but I mean, commercially and perjury rhymes.
I
See,
know
that's
it does.
That's a good
Sat
one.
through
Like
the-
you should keep that for a freaking. You should keep that for a chorus
Flying
part.
commercially. Well, we're gonna put minor perjury throughout this entire song. We're douchery, the verbal douchery. I like it. I sat through some verbal douchery. I wonder, you know what? I bet this thing won't be able to say it. I'm gonna have to spell it weird. Verbal douchery. No, they'll say airy. How do I say uri? Well, we'll just try that. You get a sonogram, then it's sticking out. When your twins disappear, it's not a medical emergency. It's just a little perjury. Okay, all right. Wait, I gotta star that one. That one's funny. Hold on. Don't forget the fiver. Yeah, okay, maybe that could be in the hook. Well, that'll be in the bridge. Only commit fraud extrinsically. Misery is a good one that rhymes with it too. Calling with strategy, buy more. Wake up in the middle of the night, couldn't sleep awake, craving a peek at the future. Maybe I might think here about this. Okay. Then a note was passed through the seat crack. I read it and cried. I want my life back. How many lines did I make verse 1? 8.
Yeah, typically 8. That's
All right,
usually
1, 2, 3, 4. We need 4 more.
I keep thinking about.
You're not helping. Why are
I'm
you
thinking about
helping?
lines about pillows and all kinds of stuff because we have a different style. You know, 'Cause, you know,
I know. I'm actually not even loving the rhythm of this. It needs a better rhythm.
well, you'll
Plan-
find the rhythm as you you know you'll put it in and you'll see where the errors are, and then you know under
It's just
under V3, if you mess up but you still like the music, what you can do is go to continue it, and you know
Right.
under continue,
extend.
yeah, so it'll have how you know it has a timer where you're I don't know if you've cut off part of yours, but it'll have like start at whatever second. Well, if you started at second 1 for extension, you can still use the music, but you can correct issues sometimes. You know, so I get some pretty funny typos every now and then, and my basic ones.
All right, so sometimes I have to go to the rhyming dictionary because I can't rhyme on the fly. Okay.
No, you got me writing one now. I need like.
Okay, good. You need to write one too.
I was like dropping the bass like a sack of twins. It's that umbrella guy on the mic again.
Everybody knows those bad boys. I just committed a little minor perjury. There we go. How did she hear me through all that noise? Why do you ask? Everybody knows those bad boys. They're the ones at fault. It's not me. I just committed a little minor perjury. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right. Then we got to go back to the chorus. And the chorus can change a little. Let's see. I starred some stuff. It's just a little perjury. Okay. So let's look at the chorus that I wrote up here. Yeah, we'll just copy and paste it. Now I got to write a bridge. Oops, that was the wrong one. That's the wrong thing. You guys start thinking about what type of music you want to hear. Shit, why won't this copy? I'm going to have to use my keyboard.
I'm useless for that part.
I have to use my keyboard. I forget. You can't copy and paste without using your keyboards. There we go. All right, now I need a bridge. And then we have to think about what kind of music we want. So start thinking about the type of music, you guys. Okay. Okay, why are you coming at me? It's only a little minor perjury. Let's see. I need a rhyme with truck drivers. Yes, that's it. It's only a little bit. I'm clearly a survivor, and I paid for it on Fiverr. All right, and then it goes back to the chorus. All right, what kind of music? What are we doing on the music? Okay, let me. Why couldn't you just date me instead? You're making me resort to minor perjury. I may have to put that in there. Paid on Fiverr. Why couldn't you just date me? Instead, you made me commit minor perjury. You bastard. All right, style of music. Uplifting future bass.
Well, the bass part, that sounds good.
Dreamy Afro beat.
No, that's terrible sound.
Uplifting electro pop.
No, the up.
I don't mind that. I'm gonna try that. Let's see. How about uplifting reggae? They spelled reggae wrong. That might be funny. Let's try that.
Raga.
Powerful samba is terrible. Atmospheric electropop is always too smooth, too slow. Bouncy reggae might be fun. Let's try one of those. Mellow EDM, maybe. Aggressive J-pop, no. Experimental trap. I don't even know what that is. What's experimental trap?
Trap is like the that beat. I can't say. I don't. You know what it sounds like. It's like drum machine and
all right.
Usually
well,
some
aggressive.
It took me a minute.
Funk. Let's do some of that. Let's do no gospel. Chill disco. That might be funny. Delta blues. Maybe Delta Blues. Maybe. You know what I really like? You know what they do a really good job on is bluegrass. I always do a bluegrass version. Yeah, we're definitely gonna do country, and I should do what was the rap that I always like? Oh, powerful rap. Powerful rap. Although this is not really a rap song, it's not going to come out well. But you know what? We'll try it anyway, just because it's funny. Country. Oh, I forgot to say female voice. God damn it! Now I'm gonna have to do the whole thing all over again.
Yep, you got to do the voice. 'cause
Shit.
I hate that when I like.
All right. See, this is how I do it, and then I just create a bazillion of them. Let's do bluegrass, female voice. Dang, I can't believe I forgot to do female voice on all of these. Now, some of them might be female just on accident. All right, let's try it, shall we?
Do you swear to tell the whole truth? She said. I raised my hand and nodded my messy head. Nothing but the truth, so help me God. I swore on the Bible and my lawyer gave me the nod. Then I spun and tail so wild no one could believe. Full of fabrications only a dope could achieve. Throwing caution to the wind that changed my tail. Who cares? I'll never pay, there won't be any bail. What do you mean it's a felony? It's just a little minor perjury. When your twins disappear, it's not a medical mystery. It's just a little perjury.
I do like the chorus.
On a trip to Iceland flying commercially, I sat through some verbal douchery. Then a note was passed through the secret. I read it and cried, I want my life back. How did she hear me through all that noise? Why do you ask? Everybody knows those bad boys. They're the ones at fault, not me. I just commit a little minor perjury. What do you mean it's a felony? It's just a little minor perjury. When your twins disappear, it's not a medical mystery.
Talking to somebody. I am on a video. I am. No, I've got it muted. I can't talk while. There.
And there's more, see?
Why are you coming at me? It's only a little minor perjury. I'm clearly a survivor. And I paid for it on fire. Why couldn't you just take me? Instead you made me commit minor perjury. You swear to tell the whole truth, she said.
Oh, and by the way, when I hear it, when I hit on it, I always know it. And that one so far, not so sure that that's
My
it.
hand and knot in my messy head. Nothing but the truth, so help me God. I swore on the Bible and my lawyer gave me the nod. Then I spun a tale so wild no one could believe. Full of fabrications only Adobe could achieve. Throwing caution to the wind, I changed my tale. Who cares? I'll never pay, there won't be any bail. What do you mean it's a felony? It's just a little minor perjury. When your twins disappear.
Nope, don't like that one. Okay, let's see. Delta. Okay, we've got mellow, bouncy, uplifting raga. I don't even know what that is. Nope, guy voice. That won't work. Nope, guy voice.
Do you swear to tell?
Guy voice.
Do you swear to?
Nope.
Do you swear to tell the whole truth? She said. I raised my hand, nodded my messy head. Nothing but the truth, so help me God. I swore on the Bible and my lawyer gave me the nod. Then I spun a tale so wild no one could believe. Full of fabrications only Adobe could achieve. Throwing caution to the wind, I changed my tale. Who cares? I'll never pay, there won't be any bail. What do you mean it's a felony? It's just a little minor perjury. When your twins disappear, it's not a medical mystery. It's just a little perjury.
No, don't love the rhythm.
Do Do you swear to tell the whole truth? She said. I raised my hand and nodded my messy head. Nothing but the truth, so help me God. I swore on the Bible and my lawyer gave me the nod. Then I spun a tale so wild no one could believe. Full of fabrications only Adobe could achieve. Throwing caution to the wind, I changed my tale. Who cares? I'll never pay, there won't be any bail. What do you mean it's a felony? It's just a little minor perjury. When your twins disappear, it's not a medical.
Nope, hate it. Too high. This is melodic drum and bass.
I raised my hand and nodded my messy head.
It's a dude. That won't work. Now we have the other melodic drum and bass. Ooh. I like that part. I like that a lot. It's going to be a dude. It's going to ruin it for me.
Do you swear to
Ooh.
tell the whole truth? She said.
It's not.
I raised my hand and nodded my messy head. Nothing but the truth, so help me God.
Ooh.
I swore on the Bible and my lawyer gave me the nod.
Kind of like it.
A tale so wild no one could believe. Full of fabrications only Adobe could achieve. Throwing caution to the wind, I changed my tale. Who cares? I'll never pay, there won't be any bail.
I kind of like this one.
What do you mean it's a felony? It's just a little minor perjury. When your twins disappear, it's not a medical mystery. It's just a little perjury.
Nice. Dramatic.
On a trip to Iceland, flying commercially, I sat through some Bible butchery. Then a note was passed through the secret. I read it and cried, I want my life back. How did you hear me through all that noise?
All right, I'm putting a thumbs up on that.
I liked half of that.
I liked
Yeah.
half of it. The end,
Yeah.
not a huge fan of so
Well, you could,
far.
again, go in and, continue.
Change some things
expand.
around.
Yeah,
But I'm
just
gonna mark that one for a maybe. So here's some aggressive funk, whatever that means. No, it's a dude. Not gonna work. Chill disco. Jeez. Okay, there's a reason why disco doesn't exist anymore, but it's still fun to dance to. All right, let's see what the second option of disco is.
Do you swear to tell the whole truth? You said.
No, it's guys. That won't work. Delta Blues.
Just a little perjury.
It's dudes. Can't do dudes.
Do you swear to tell?
Nope.
Do you swear to tell the whole truth? She said. I raised my hand and nodded my messy head. Nothing but the truth, so help me God. I swore on the Bible and my lawyer gave me the nod. Then I spun a tale so wild no one could believe. Full of fabrications only.
Yeah, it's too bad it's a dude.
You swear to tell the.
Yeah, that one too. Goodbye.
Do you swear to tell the whole truth? He said. I raised my hand and nodded my messy head. Nothing but the truth, so help me God. I swore on the Bible and my lawyer gave me the nod. Then I spun a tale so wild no one could believe. fabrications only Adobe could achieve. Throwing caution to the wind, I changed my tale. Who cares? I'll never pay, there won't be any bail. What do you mean it's a felony? It's just a little minor perjury. When useless disappear, it's not a medical mystery. It's just a little perjury.
Oh, I just figured something out. I've got that chorus wrong. So in this particular song, it needs to repeat that twice. Dang it, that would have been perfect.
On a trip to Iceland, flying commercially, I sat through some verbal douchery. Then a note was passed through the seat crack. I read it and cried, I want my life back. How did she hear me through all that noise? Why do you ask? Everybody knows those bad boys, they're the ones at fault, it's not me. I just committed a little minor perjury. What do you mean it's a felony? It's just a little minor perjury. When you sense it's
All right, it's not bad because I can hear it, but it's a little boring. Let's see what the next one
you
is.
swear to tell the whole truth, she said. I raised my hand and nodded my messy head. Nothing but the truth.
God, when does it pick up? See, it's just too small, too slow.
Do you swear to tell the whole truth? She said. I raised my hand and nodded my messy head. Nothing but the truth, so help me God. I swore on the Bible and my lawyer gave me the nod. Then I spun a tale, so while no one could believe, full of fabrications, only Adobe could cheat. Throwing caution to the wind, I changed my tale. Who cares? I'll never pay. There won't be any bail.
Nope, rhythm's wrong. This is why it takes so long.
She said. I raised my hand and nodded my messy head. Nothing but the truth, so help me God. I swore on the Bible and my lawyer gave me the nod. Then I spun a tale so while no one could believe, full of fabrications, only Adobe could achieve. Throwing caution to the wind, I changed my tale. Who cares? I'll never pay, there won't be any bail. What do you mean it's a felony? It's just a little minor perjury. When your twins disappear, it's not a medical mystery.
Nope, hate it. All right, we're going for sea shanty next. Ready? Sea shanty. Let's see, what else should we try? We should also try. How come it's not populating? What are you working? Tug, you don't have to sit here with me while I do this.
I'm
'cause
playing
you
with the
know I'm
song
gonna-
while I'm
Are
playing.
you?
with it. Yeah.
Not
I was like,
samba.
let's see, dropping the bass like a sack of twins. It's that umbrella guy on the mic again. This isn't murder, it's a freestyle. Rewriting motions that she'll refile with Lee press on truths like that hairline. And I'd ask for truth.
Lee press on truths.
Like a hairline, you know, like the hairline. I'm gonna go with something in define. They'll say I'm working on it still.
Something about this rhythm is bothering me. I need to change it up a little bit. Type. What happened? I think I got it like locked up on me.
It'll do that every now and then.
Sea shanty female voice. Hello. Ah, dang. Something happened. Something bad happened. It's not working. That's weird. Okay. Hold on. All of a sudden it locked up on me. It's like it's done. It's like I don't want to do this anymore. I don't like it. AI has decided it doesn't like the song. All right, let's see. Did I get my sea shanty? No, I did not. Huh. All right, let's try again. Custom mode. Huh. It didn't save it either, which is weird. All right. See, oh, so I have to share it. Sorry. Present, share screen. Share. Sea shanty. Female. Oh, you know what else? It didn't do my bluegrass either. It must have gotten tired a while ago. All right, there we go. We've got it working on sea shanty now. All right, I'm going to go to some super chats so I can see what you're saying. Steph, thanks for the super sticker. Appreciate that. Rhea Norman, thanks for the super chat. When my neighbor brought their new baby round and my husband went, ew, there's nowhere to go from that. That's funny. McCrae says, don't count on Spectrum. They are garbage. Worked for TWC for a decade and all went downhill after they sold out. Yeah, I know. Spectrum's terrible. I'm right there with you. McCrae, thanks for the super chat. Says, can we talk about how annoying taking accountability is? Grammar, people. Grammar. Chris Jenner, thanks for the super chat. Schnitzel Ninja in the chat knows who the friend is. People have sent me messages about that. So I'm going to try and reach out to the person. We'll see. Jenny Balby, thanks for the super chat, says, I thought I'd be decorating a nursery, but now you got me committing minor perjury. The only problem with that is I don't believe she ever thought she was going to be decorating a nursery. KJ, thanks for the super chat, putting all these men through a lot of misery with my little bit of perjury. Jenny Balby, why are you coming at me? It's only minor perjury. That made it in there. Jenny Balby, why couldn't you just date me? Instead, you're making me resort to minor perjury. That made it in there too. All right, let's see. All right, let's hear how the sea shanty sounds. Are you ready for this? This could be epic or it could be terrible. Here we go.
Do you swear to tell the whole truth, she said. I raised my hand and nodded my messy head. Nothing but the truth, so help me God. I swore on the Bible and my lawyer gave me the nod. Then I spun a tale so wild no one could believe, full of fabrications only Adobe could achieve. Throwing caution to the wind, I changed my tale. Who cares? I'll never pay. There won't be any bail. What do you mean it's a felony? It's just a little minor perjury.
Isn't this going to pick up at any time? I need like some clapping.
It's just a little perjury.
I don't know. It doesn't speak to me, guys. It's too sleepy. It's too sleepy.
Do you swear to tell the whole truth? She said. I raised my hand and nodded my messy head. Nothing but the truth, so help me God. I swore on the Bible and my lawyer gave me the nod. Then I spun a tale so wild no one could believe.
Sleepy.
Full of fabrications only Adobe could.
Yeah, too sleepy. I can't do sleepy. Sleepy does not work for me. I can't.
Okay, there we go. Dropping the bass like a sack of twins. It's that umbrella guy on the mic again. It's not murder. It's a freestyle. Rewriting motions that she'll refile with leap press on truths like that hairline with edges even AI can't seem to define. And I'd ask for truth, but I can't deny her the representation she purchased on Fiverr, a phony lawyer with a mouthpiece defendant pretending to respect the First Amendment. And I haven't gotten the last part of that one yet.
I love it. Your lyrics are way better than mine. I'm going to have to work on mine. Female voice. Okay. Power rock ballad. That's what we're going to try next. I need something peppier.
Today's on the case.
I have to work on my lyrics. We're going to go back to that Laura Owens thing and listen to it while I work on my lyrics. This is a power rock ballad? Is it kidding? Why does it keep wanting to make it sleepy? This better get better than this. No.
Do you swear to tell the whole truth?
No. All right. Let's go with rock. Good Lord. What is with the sleepy music today? I can't figure it out. Today is really bad. It must be my lyrics. I can't figure out the rhythm. I'm going to have to go back to the drawing board on this.
Do you swear to tell the whole truth? She said.
God, I hate it. That's not rock. All right, that's it. I'm going back to the drawing board. All right, we're going over here. We're listening to more of this crap while I do this.
Relationship is going to be a waste of your emotional time, but it's very hard to pick up.
That's what I was going to say. Why is it so hard to leave? Is it because they were just so good at the
They
beginning?
were so good in the beginning, and they're good at the back and forth bullshit. You know, they give
Totally.
you a rose, they throw 10 stones. They give you a rose, they throw 10 stones. And we women want to forgive. We're forgiving creatures in general. It's really hard to pick up. You know, people always tell women, "Oh, you should have just left." I would never allow it. That's not fair to say to women. You know, it's these are master chess players who've come from a lot of abuse, who use and discard people whenever the person doesn't toe their line. These are classic narcissists. It is so hard to go against the narcissist, you know. And I invite women to come to talk to me, take my courses, because you should not feel ashamed for what happened to you. You were a victim of narcissistic abuse.
I'm a survivor. I'm not a victim. I don't feel like that anymore.
You were a victim.
Yes.
And that's it. And it was not your fault. You cannot keep going. Why did I not leave? It's because you cannot believe that people are so sick, so pathological.
Right. Because you haven't been around
like
that. Exactly. I didn't know any better. And it's interesting too, because when I got out of the relationship, he started stalking me after the relationship ended. That was a whole other story. But when I got out of it, I needed to take a full year to try and figure out who I was, because I didn't feel like I was ready to date. And it was like I did have higher standards for myself, but I also had no idea what made for a successful relationship. And now I know that it's, you know, it's kindness, it's being loving, you know, it's things that should be normal.
I know. So looking back on your patterns, were you always a good girl and a people pleaser?
Totally. That is exactly who I am, who I was, and everything. Yeah.
I have to hear that again. Look at that self-satisfied, smug look on her face. Exactly. That's exactly who I am.
I know. So looking back on your patterns, were you always a good girl and a people pleaser?
Totally. That is exactly who I am, who I was, and everything. Yeah.
Oh my God. What was that face? Oh, the eyes just lit up for that one. That's exactly who I am. That's who she wants to be seen as. She wants to be seen as a people. But all she does is to harass people. She's not trying to please anybody. She's a Karen on steroids, this one. She goes in like a hurricane. This is not a people pleaser. This is a people controller.
Girl and a people pleaser.
Totally. That is exactly who I am, who I was, and everything. Yeah. I grew up wanting not
totally.
Not the crazy wedding and ring, but I wanted to be, you know, I wanted to be somebody's wife and be a mother and everything. And I thought that you get that by being nice.
I know. And that's the classic woman who falls prey to this. It was not your fault. It was going to happen because there are plenty of narcissistic men and there are plenty of sweet girls like you. So it's very easy for the match. And, you know, only life can teach us this. You know, we can blame our mothers. Why didn't you tell me? You have to go through this, and you've survived it, and you're a victor. So you're okay now, and you're helping so many other people through this. Look, you're here today. You're talking about it. But I think for people to understand, number one, if they are people pleasers and conflict avoiders, which is almost all women, they are going to be taken advantage of by people who are predators. And narcissists are predators, but they're very charming predators. So they can be women or men, and they will take advantage of you. And so for you, one of the classes they should teach us in 10th grade is how to recognize a predator. And a predator,
God, they need to be teaching that. Seriously, more so than just about anything.
I know how to create healthy boundaries, how to say no, how to walk away from a relationship. It's really, we don't learn these life skills in class. So, but I think for people, for themselves to know that they are people pleasers, they are going to attract more predatorial people who will just keep taking. So you have to know that about yourself for the next relationship and see how much you're getting back and pay attention moment by moment and not be afraid to create boundaries in the moment. That's what we missed, right?
Well, what kind of boundaries do I need to set? Because I feel like now dating, again, I want to be super nice because, the right guy deserves it, right? I mean, the right guy does. Not every guy is a horrible boyfriend. They do deserve it, but it's like I do have trouble setting boundaries. I don't know, when is to.
Seems like every boyfriend she's had has been a allegedly terrible boyfriend, going back to 2014 now. Hey, if there are any men out there who dated Laura Owens and it was a healthy, good relationship, would you let me know? I'd like to know. I'll report it. I want to tell both sides of the story. Are there any boyfriends out there who had a good experience with this chick? Anybody? Anyone?
Good luck.
Anyone?
Going
Bueller?
once. Yeah, exactly. That's what I was
Bueller.
thinking. Bueller.
Quick to tell them I have feelings for
that knot is still there. It's still there.
them. It's confusing for me.
It is very confusing. So I would suggest that, the best way to enter your next relationship is to enter as powerful as possible. Meaning, get in touch.
Oh God, as powerful as possible. No, if she gets any more powerful, it's going to be like that. Who's that Marvel character with the snapping fist thing and everyone disappears? Yes, Thanos. God, if she gets any more powerful, it's going to be like Laura Owens as Thanos.
With your real power. Like, nobody's going to treat me badly. I don't need to get married. I don't need children. I don't need a man. Until you are complete in your psyche, you will fall prey to, I want this man.
That's good advice for her. She does need that. She does need to come to the realization that she's probably not going to have a man. And she doesn't need one either, because she doesn't like that advice. Look at her face, by the way. She doesn't like the advice that you need to come to the realization that you don't need a man.
I saw, though, he was in a nice house. And that's when they have their claws on you, in you. So first you have to enter whole, and even then you could be mangled a bit, but you have to enter as whole as possible to be able to walk out without feeling like you left a piece of you with them. You are not here to be in a relationship to give your pieces away. You're here to be in a relationship where you both can be together in wholeness, right? We're not here to, and you have to, so number one is be as whole as possible. Don't need children, don't need marriage, don't need a man. Only then you'll be okay to walk out.
And I do feel like that. I've actually had fun not having a man, because I've really discovered that I'm powerful and I can spend time on my own. I don't need a guy to entertain me. I can have so much fun.
I need no man.
Really? You've discovered that? Then why are you trying to make men sign a dating contract? I wish she had asked this doctor, what do you think about making the next man sign a contract that I'll only abort his fictional twins if he dates me for a week?
Which is helpful, but
that's very good, because you should be able to walk away without need. So if you have your own money, you have your own job, you have your purpose, you have your own place to go, like a friend, the thing that keeps.
No, she doesn't have any of that. Own money, own home, own job. Nope, still doesn't have any of that. Look at the look on her face too. She's like, and I'm living in my parents' casita.
Keeps people in abusive relationships is having nowhere else to go, having children, and having no money.
Right.
These are the standard three things that women, so be careful before you have children and before you get married, because you don't want to be in a situation where you're with the wrong person. That is where most women are tortured, right? So if you're without children, you're not married. So now enter as full as possible so you can leave at any point. And the second thing I would say is, look at your tendency to please, look at your tendency to need praise, because as long as you're hungry for that praise, you're going to overstep and overdo and over please for that praise. So how can you let go of your need to be the good one?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, what do I do? Because I don't want to be mean. I mean, I still, I want to
see how you love it.
What? Oh God, do you think she cares at all about being mean? Oh, look what she did to Liz Neptune. Liz Neptune, small YouTuber, just tells people her thoughts on this case in a very non-controversial way. And this woman sends the Broward County Sheriff after her. Calls the FBI on Dave Neal. This woman does not care about being kind.
You think that, I'm going to be mean. It's like, we good girls don't know how to just be powerful.
Right. But what I felt is like by continuing to blame him, and like I said, this really happened for a year. I just was thinking about it all the time, and I thought, I'm giving him the power because I'm thinking about him all the time, and that's on me. That really is on me.
I write this here that as long as you blame your ex, you will be betrothed to them. There's nobody to blame. You were too much of a people pleaser. You attracted a narcissist. It is the standard protocol in the world. Okay, people pleasers attract narcissists. Done. You did it because you needed to give. You see, you needed to give, so you had to find somebody who needed to take. You weren't ready to be with someone where you received. You weren't ready to think of yourself as a queen. Now you have to work on thinking of yourself as a queen, and that you don't need a man for any or anybody.
And I feel like I need to make, radical peace with who he was and who I was, and I need to forgive myself, and I really have forgiven myself because I know what he did wasn't right now. And I thought like the best way to get over it and really get back at him is to be an advocate, right? Instead of
Guys, they're not talking that fast. I have it sped up.
like I want to help other girls, but I didn't get that help, and I almost died because of it. And I remember the last time he tried to suffocate me with a pillow, I truly thought to myself, I don't care if I die at this point because I'm just not worth it,
Oh,
and I feel like
so brave.
I you know what, and I can't even believe I'm saying that, and I've never admitted that yet because I know it doesn't make me look good or anything, but I'm sure somebody else could hear this and identify with it and see that there's light at the end of the tunnel and they're going to be okay. And that was what I wanted to hear. I wanted my band of sisters.
I know. Well, now you've created this podcast, and now see what you're doing on my IG live 2 days later. But here's the thing. You don't want to say you were suffocated by a pillow because you're like, how stupid you sound, right? You're like, people are going to think I'm so stupid. Let me tell you, and this is what I said on your podcast too, like, what do you want people to what nobody told me what? Like, what do you wish somebody had told me?
You had such great ones.
Yeah, but this is what I was connected to what you just said. Nobody tells us that it's not our fault if we're physically abused. It's not your fault. And the minute you're physically abused, if you had the powerful band of sisters, you would have gone and gone, the asshole just abused me. But because we've been conditioned and we think it's our fault that we abuse, we keep quiet, like in the Me Too movement. And that's what I write a lot in my book. If you are a victim of abuse, scream it from the rooftops. Don't stay in victim consciousness. By acting like it was your fault, you're staying in victim consciousness. By saying I wasn't a victim, you're staying in victim consciousness, So listen, it's very, you feel so vulnerable to say you were, I was in an abusive relationship because because other women can judge us and go, oh, that would never happen to me.
Oh God, they do it all the time. I mean,
they do it all the time.
It's so crazy. And God, I mean, had more girls told me that I deserved that at the time, or that I deserved it because I wasn't leaving, oh my God, it would have been so much harder for me. And that's the one thing I wish I had was support from my friends at the time. And I look back, and if I saw somebody who was being abused or who came to me and said they were being abused, like you said, I would believe them. I would believe them totally. And I would know what that was like. But I would also tell them that they're not going to be a victim. They're going to be stronger because of this, because they get empathy. I feel so much more empathetic than I did before, and I feel powerful. And I feel like I know what I want a lot more, and I can stand up for myself. So what? Like,
let me tell you that in my book, the fundamental concept is the disconnection from self. Okay, so your disconnection from self showed up in this relationship. Those women who told you, "Oh, I can't believe you allowed him to do that," they think they're not disconnected from self. They have a disconnection from self in another area. It's just this one they got there. They got some really nice guy. Okay,
exactly.
Great.
And that girl had a really nice guy, I have to say.
Right, good for them. It's not anything they did.
But it was random that they got that. The chances were somewhat random, right?
Correct. It just is what it is. You end up here, and we stayed because of we're people pleasers. We stay longer, and sure, if we knew what we know now, we would not have stayed. But who cares, right? And this is where women need to be compassionate to each other and go, okay, you are disconnected from yourself in this way, and I'm disconnected from myself in another way. Every woman I have met suffers from a loss of self. Sometimes it manifests in relationships. Sometimes it manifests in food. Sometimes it manifests in purpose and career. So if anyone ever says, why did you stay so long? Go, I represented my disconnection this way. How are you representing your disconnection? Like, throw the question back at them,
I know, I totally agree. And I to some extent, I feel like those people who don't believe it won't have the strength to be, I don't know, or like I said, more empathetic, or they don't know what it feels like to be a survivor. And they're
we're not empathetic because we don't believe her. It's this interesting, very interesting. We don't have empathy because people who don't believe her are not empathetic. It's not just that
it's emotional blackmail is what it is.
Yeah.
There's something so powerful about that. And that's one thing I've taken away. I'm a survivor. I know what I want. I know I was disconnected from myself at that time, and I don't really recognize myself. The only thing that's really gotten me is, like I said, I just don't, I don't know the steps for, like, how do I not just want praise or want to make the guy feel good? How do I?
You have to do some more work. You have to take another year of courses. You have to learn to meditate. You have to really enter a divine communion with yourself. It's not going to be, if you came out of an abusive relationship, it's going to take a few years. I promise you.
Did she say enter divine communion with yourself? What does that mean? Drink your blood, eat your flesh. What does that is some shrink bullshit right there.
Well, you can always tell the psychiatrists that focus on issues like for myself. If I had somebody in an office as a therapist, I look at it as, find a problem, fix a problem. I'm not there to run my mouth all fucking day long or listen to someone, of course they can talk and everything else. That's not what I mean. But we need to identify a concrete issue and we need to fix said issue. All this other garbage, it's just jargon.
Yeah. That just didn't mean anything.
It has.
Yeah,
like I said,
good.
it's 4 years. It's been
Good.
4 years. And you know what? Like the last relationship I had, I was so confident with it. I really was. And I ended it when it needed to be ended. And I was proud
There
of
you
myself
go.
for doing that. Yeah.
There you
yeah.
go. As long as we understand that, see, this mythology that we need to get married by a certain age and then the marriage needs to last forever keeps us not creating boundaries. If you let go of that idea, then you will take greater care of yourself. That's why I said, don't need the marriage, don't need the man, don't need the babies. In today's science.
Her eyes got really wide.
Don't need the man, don't need the
Because she really does. She really, watch her eyes when she says, don't need the man, don't need the marriage, don't need the babies. Watch her eyes.
Not creating boundaries. If you let go of that idea, then you will take greater care of yourself. That's why I said, don't need the marriage, don't need the man, don't need the babies.
Did you see her eyebrows go up?
Yeah.
And her eyes open real wide. That was like a horror. Like she just she saw something horrible.
Greater care of yourself. That's why I said, don't need the marriage, don't need the man, don't need the babies. In today's science and technology and adoption, you can get a baby many other ways. So if you take that off the table, now you are looking for a healthy match, a healthy alignment, not a person.
Right. Yeah. And you want someone who's going to add to your life and make you a better person and just make you feel like you can conquer the world and do anything. And, I think I felt that before my abusive relationship, and I think I lost it and then it needed to be rebuilt. To an extent, and as crazy as this sounds, forgiving him has actually helped me because, like I said, I don't want.
She forgave him. Well, then why does she keep on going back and getting that thing, the protection order renewed when he lives in a different state? This is so bullshit.
I don't want to think
she's vengeful
about him anymore. Right. I want to, I want to make peace of it. I don't ever, I don't want to think of him. All I want to think about is helping these girls who are in a similar situation and, just trying to, when I first said that I was in one of these relationships, I can't tell you how many people came to me and said they'd been in the same thing and it made them feel good that somebody else had been there and nobody talks about it.
But, oh my God, every other woman I know has been through this. Again, as I said, it's the disconnection showing up this way or that way. It doesn't matter. And many people are in an abusive relationship with themselves. So it really doesn't matter.
That's interesting. Yeah.
Well, that's the core of it all, that we allow abuse on the outside because we're disconnected from the inside. So working on inner wholeness is the only answer forward. So I'm so proud of you that you've released him. He's irrelevant. He's not the point. And he was your igniter to get to this place, to this point.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. And I can't be upset about that. Maybe, I totally wish it hadn't happened. But at the same time, I now have a way to help other women realize, like, just get over the victim mentality. And I don't mean that in a mean way.
Victim consciousness. Yeah. Victim consciousness. Yeah.
The best thing I thought of was to be like, I'm not a victim anymore. I am a survivor. And God, I went through a lot and I got over it.
Amazing. Laura, thank you for joining us. Thank you so much.
You're amazing. You really are. I really appreciate it. All right.
Thank you guys. Thank you, Laura. Bye, love.
Bye.
All right, I'm horribly blocked. I can't write this live. I've just discovered that I can't write music live, and so I'm going to finish. Hey, Bug.
Yeah, she wandered in. She was like, "Help me put on this shirt." I was like,
"Yeah,
okay.
those are the best."
Yeah.
I've kept you for 3.5 hours, so we're going to call it quits.
I've been writing. Check. I like this beat. Listen to this beat.
Oh, I want to hear yours because I'm sure Tug's like all inspired, and I'm over here like blocked.
I have a thought on your screen.
Why do I have a fox on my screen? That's Megan Fox. I'm talking to her.
But why do I have fox?
Because that's her avatar. That's what people see when she's talking.
Hey.
Hey.
Here, let's put these on real quick. And then I'm going to show them the thing I was working on. And then you want to watch a movie?
Mander says, try 90s mellow grunge with female voice. This is so much fun. Thank you, and Tug, for the laughs. Yep. Okay, I'll try that too.
It'll be funny. You can see my description here. Go upstairs for a few minutes and then
What does do?
that is a bring it back down later. And I'll show
Rage
you.
Hunting,
Yeah.
thanks for the super chat. Says Megan, try a power rock ballad. Yeah, I tried that. Heavy metal, punk. I don't know. Well,
Yeah, I like-
I'm the lyrics are bad. Stick print paint. Thanks for the super chat. Says regards Rhea Norman's comment about our neighbor's baby. In my defense, when you're confronted with that much fugly, it's fight or flight. All right, here we go. Sack. It's called Sack.
Yeah, like Saga Twins. Give me a second. I'm getting her to go upstairs.
Oh, he doesn't even push play for us. He left.
I know. I've got this in my background. You know, she's
Oh,
like,
gotcha.
I'm wearing 3.
All right. Well,
3
we'll wait
skirts.
for
I'm
you.
like, yeah, okay.
We'll
check
wait
this
for
out.
you.
Okay. I'm going with the beat. I like the beat so far. So I'm playing with it. I haven't fine tuned it yet though.
Dropping bass like a second twins. It's the umbrella guy.
Yeah.
Like you get it. This isn't murder, it's a freestyle. Read emotions, that's your refile. Lead press on truth like the hairline. With edges even AI cannot define. And I'd ask for the truth, but I can't deny. Representation that she purchased down Fiverr. A phony lawyer with a mouthpiece defended. Pretend they respect the First Amendment.
Yeah, it goes good so far. You know,
I like it. I like the
Yeah.
beat.
I like that beat too. I'm having fun with it.
I like it. All right. It's
Yeah.
time for us to get out of here.
Yeah, we gotta go.
Ginger, thanks for the super chat. You know, her mom likely watched this and heard her say she didn't care. She almost died. That's so sad. Well, I think her mom's in on whatever this scam is. Listerine, thanks for the super chat. Megan, try a pumping shanty. It wouldn't take my direction. Jenna Balby, thanks for the super. Do you have an email for more ideas on your song? I do. It's meganfox.writer@protonmail.com. All right, everybody. That's it for me. I will be back tomorrow on Dave Neal's channel at 10:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Tug, thanks so much for being here. What do you got going on?
I'll be live streaming tomorrow about some type of fun, and then Thursday we will rejoin
Yeah,
whatever
we'll-
we're doing, and then we'll
Yeah.
goof off. And we'll hit the new month. That's my birthday month, by the way. So
All
I gotta hit it fun.
right.
That's right in the middle of the month on the 15th. I'm not sure what I'll do on the. I'm definitely it's a streaming day, but I don't know what I'll do that day.
Wait a minute. You're May 15th
Yeah. Yep.
and I'm April 15th.
Yep.
We're both 15th, middle of the month.
That's right.
Unbelievable. All right. I'm going to leave you with a good song that I wrote, one of my favorites. It's a brand new one. She Hired Fiverr. See you guys. Good night.
She said she's not looking for a ring or anything classy. All she needs is for someone to care to ask her. To go steady, she's so ready for that leather jacket. She will hack it with internet manipulations and a variety pack of stipulations. She said, don't try to deny it. You clearly faked it. I'm pregnant, maybe. It's not a Fiverr, babe. It's not a Fiverr, babe. It's not a Fiverr, baby.
Never saw this. What are we seeing here? What's this? HEVN? Is this a? Are you seeing this? I'm literally. I can't unsee it. What the hell is that?
Some babies, but there's some ladies from a blog. I'm not some slob. I'm on the job.
It says Fiverr.
She hired Fiverr.
Oh no! Oh, hold on. Okay, hold on. This is why you do it live. This.
She's out control with her daddy's funding and her lawyer scheming. But I know the truth, she can never delete it. I'm not some slob, I'm on the job. Truth deep diver. She hired Fiverr. She hired Fiverr.
That's what it is. That's it. That's what it is. That's it. That's what it is.
No, I mean, Meg, what unbelievable that we just figured this out.